Ahoy, land lovers! It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. Do not adjust your set. This is the most orangest shirt of all time. First time wearing it. It's like its own unique color. If there had previously been any color correction or appropriate color balance to the image, it's gone now. It's lost forever. We are gathered here today on this most auspicious February 2nd. It's Groundhog's Day. Hooray. February 2nd, 2024. We're going to play some Sam & Max Hit the Road. I think there's a reasonable chance that we finish this game tonight. Just because I do legitimately think, and I might be a little off on this, but I think the point that we hit at the end of last stream is like roughly the halfway point in the game. So at the pace we're going, I think it's reasonably likely we finish today. Now keep in mind that that comes from me like knowing pretty much exactly what to do at all times. So if you were to play this game by yourself for the first time, it would take you like a lot longer, which I failed to account for when I was like looking at estimates of how long the game is, because, and this is true, I'm stupid and just like didn't think about that at all, despite the fact that I am very well versed in this sort of thing. Well, hold on, Sarah says she got a new cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. Which cheesecake is it? I need to know for scientific purposes. Speaking of scientific purposes, would you like to see what I've been looking at for the past, like, 25 minutes? Because I think you will like it. Prepare yourselves. There it is. Now, you may remember, if you were here last week, that if you leave this game idle for long enough, it starts going crazy. Well, I thought, you know, I think that music from the map would be some good background music. And then I was like sitting here for a little while and like noticed like a couple weird streaks, and I was like, that's weird, I don't remember the map being all like that. And then like 5 minutes later I was like, oh no, I remember what's happening. Whoops. I have no idea what it is about the like DOSBox emulation of this game that causes this to happen. I don't remember anything like this happening in the original ever, and I'm sure that I left it idle for like at least 10 minutes on multiple occasions. And the extra fun part about it is, hold on, there it is. As soon as you like move the mouse cursor, everything's back to normal. Isn't that fun? But this save file is actually a little bit behind where we left off. I just wanted to do that without compromising the space that we left, which was the go to Bumpusville sign. I don't actually recall if you can see this again. I think if you get this and they add Bumpusville to your map and then you leave Frog Rock, I don't think you ever see this again, or maybe it stays forever. It's literally one of the two. It's either gone forever or there always. Sam & Max Impressionist Edition, for sure, for sure. So Sarah clarifies, was the Adam's peanut butter cup cheesecake. Wait a minute, is that... There's two peanut butter cheesecakes from the Cheesecake Factory. One of them is the Reese's peanut butter chocolate cake cheesecake, which is the one I think you're talking about, which is my favorite, and I'd be surprised that you had not tried that before. I guess it's go to Bumsville? I remember the Sailor Moon episode went there. I don't think I remember that. I feel like I should remember that. But yeah, if you weren't here last time, we got introduced to Sam and Max. They're the freelance police. They were assigned by the commissioner, who I don't think you ever see, or even directly hear. It's kind of a Charlie's Angels situation, which is a reference too old for most of you. But we were assigned to track down a missing Bigfoot. So we went to a carnival in Maine and did some research, rode the Cone of Tragedy, lost all our inventory items, rode the Tunnel of Love, electrocuted our friend Max, met a mole man, met that mole man's uncle later on. We went to Gator Golf, which may or may not have been the literal inspiration for the famous Gator Golf, what could be greater than golf with a gator. We had to use fishing golf in order to make a path to free Max from a cage. We went to the world's largest ball of twine. We found a mood ring there. We cut off a piece of that twine. We might need it later. It's important in adventure games. We got a wrench. We found a way to sneak into the restaurant in said ball of twine by hiding ourselves inside a big fiberglass fish that got taken away by a helicopter. Let's see, what else? I think that covers like most of what we did. Oh yeah, we got the mystery snow globe from the Florida excursion, and that took us to the mystery spot, which contains a magical vortex that may or may not be containable within a snow globe. And somewhere in that vicinity, we met the mole man's uncle, Shavul. He told us to come here to Frog Rock, and if that we performed a ritual, we would like figure out what we needed to do to find that Bigfoot that we're tracking. And we got a clue, and we had some discussion at the end of the last episode as to what exactly it means. Which is, of course, a joke because it couldn't possibly be clearer. But let's play the game. This is what the historically accurate 1993 map looks like. The newest location, of course, being Bumpusville, which is like somewhere in the vicinity of Nashville, maybe, I don't know. I don't think I know this meme you're talking about, Neko. Major Bumsville? Sounds good, though. Just a man who curses a lot. It's true, there is a man who curses a lot. And the fact that you know that, Sarah, means that you're like one of the 6 people who watched the VOD on YouTube last week, or that you watched it on Twitch. Either way, glad to have you here. Glad you're all up to speed. And now, let's go to Bumpusville.
It's a Conroy world after all.
If we ever get this rich and famous, I want you to shoot me, Sam.
It'll be a pleasure.
Really do love the characters of Sam and Max. Somewhere along the way, I like bought the like DVD set of the one season of the like animated series that they got. I've still never watched it to this day. I've seen individual episodes, but like I didn't know it was on TV when it was on. I don't even remember when it aired, if it was like after the game or before, because I know the characters existed before Sam and Max hit the road, but that was the first time I ever knew of them. And I, like I said last week, I feel like the first time I played this game was probably like 1996, which was a few years after it came out. Oh, there's something good you can do here, I recall.
Well.
I wish I had absolute power to decide who lives and who dies.
I think we'd need a bigger well. Well.
What happens if you just use the well?
It's customary to throw money into these things.
See, for a game made in 1993, it's actually surprising to me how good it is at signaling stuff to the player when I play games that like came out this year and sometimes like they don't have their crap together.
I wish this game were over.
We did it, everyone! I told you we'd get to the end today.
Get back here. We're dealing with a very literal well here.
I mean, you really gotta be careful what you wish for. I think I ranted about this at sometime around Christmas. As you all know, I watched like all the Hallmark movies. One of the very first ones from 2023 last year, it contained a woman making a Christmas wish to have a different life. And so help me God, I think that's one of the worst wishes I've ever seen in fiction. Like, if a genie got hold of that wish, you have any idea how poorly that could go? It's just unconscionable. And also, hello to my sister who's familiar with this rant and also this game. How are you doing? I hope this week has gone better than last week. I missed this. So was the secret that you shared, Sarah, that you can like somehow combine toppings from different cheesecakes at Cheesecake Factory? Because that sounds like a decadent nightmare for one of the already most calorically intense places on Earth. She didn't think it through. Hey. Hey. Is there anything else to look at around here? I think we kind of just go inside. Maybe we can look at his tour bus. I do kind of want to get as much dialogue as I can without belaboring the point, but my pace is already pretty
I wonder
slow.
if Conroy's a member of Good Sam Club.
Let's go inside. You've been putting s'mores on everything. Is that new though? Or is that just a lifestyle choice?
Cripes. Hey, Max, take a look at this.
It's titled Me, Myself, and I.
Hey, you learned how to read.
That's such a fantastic just throwaway joke. Oh, hey, what do we have here?
It's a
What have we here?
macro-hard maintenance droid.
That's cool. Can I interact with this guy here?
Howdy, partners. I'm Conroy Bumpus, and welcome to Bumpusville. Feel free to wander the mansion, but for Pete's sake, don't touch anything. Howdy, partners. I'm
I think that'll just loop indefinitely. I want to see that, like, there's some joke to, like, all these records on the wall.
It's a gold record for Conroy's breakthrough hit. Two-fisted, beer-drinking, gun-toting, hard-loving, fast-driving country western Liverpudlian. It's the platinum record Bumpus got for Let's Drink Beer and Shoot Things.
Is it bad that I genuinely assume someone's, like, actually made that, like, a song with that title?
It's a gold record for Bumpus's Heaven's Just Like Texas, except that there's no taxes.
Like, that's actually, like, a pretty good title.
Conroy's first 8-track tape, Flushed Down the Toilet of Love.
Wait a minute, are these also something?
Oh, the platinum record Conroy got for his all-time hit, Smile When You Say That, You Rock and Rollin' Wimp. Bumpus got this gold record for Daddy's Two-Steppin' in His 2-Foot Grave. It's hard to believe that he sold 1 million of Tobacco Spit Blues.
Doesn't sound very good.
It's a gold record for Conroy's runaway hit, Broken-Hearted Roadkill on the Highway of Romance.
I appreciate the amount of effort that every single one of those records has a story to it.
Wow, it's Monster Truck Weekend!
Happening every Sunday.
Sunday!
Sunday. Okay, I'm over the shock now.
I'm not, but I'm sure my gentle naivete will survive.
Let's see. Oh, that's right. Several of those sound like plausible songs. One or two sound like they should already be songs. Look at this now that I'm up here. It just sort of
It
went
looks like
up.
an official macro-hard maintenance droid manual. If I had the slightest inclination to strain myself, I could probably reach it. However, I'm sure I can drag this out into a longer yet more satisfying experience.
See, like, even that right there. Like, how many times have I played an adventure game and there's been, like, some, like, needless contrivance to make the task, like, an extra step longer than it seems like it should be? And there's, like, no good reason. At least here he's like, I literally just don't want to strain myself, so I could probably get a little more gameplay out of this. Like, this game just understands its own genre. And it was made in 1993. Again, I just feel like stuff that gets made today, even stuff that's just, like, sincerely trying to, like, do the game straightforward, like, doesn't understand the genre as well as this. So I think literally he will not...
strain myself.
Yeah. So then... okay, it already detached the magnet. That was the thing I wasn't immediately sure how to do, is how to get the magnet off the golf ball retriever with Jesse James's severed hand on it.
What you doing?
Hang back, buddy, and observe my magic.
Oh, that's right. There's so much that's great about this game. I love the pointless escalator. That's fantastic.
Oops.
And I love this. Like the massive book fell on Max's head, knocking him out cold, and rather than pick it up or attend to Max, Sam just quietly reads the book on top of his unconscious body.
Find out all you need to know?
Maybe. I got a little lost in the troubleshooting chapter.
I forget if I have to, like, literally use that object. Can I do this? I think I can do this. I might be wrong. Yeah, okay, that doesn't matter. But what is that, you ask me? Well, that's a great
It's a
question.
pillow. And it's got Miracle Grow hair tonic all over it.
There's one other point of interest in here, I think. Oddly, no comment on the escalator at all. But what about this?
It's one of Conroy's toupees.
Can I have it?
Uh-oh.
What in the name of Jethro Clampett's going on in her?
Jethro Clamp.
That hurts.
Knock it off.
It's a good throw. We're
And
doing
stay out.
the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air thing?
I don't think that was the best way to get the toupee, Sam.
Again, just like... I like that because, like, as a player, you could easily take away from that, like, you know what? I don't think I'm supposed to interact with that item. Like, I think that's some kind of pseudo-fail state. But instead, you get thrown out in, like, a comedic sequence, and then the game's like, you're gonna need to try something else to get that. Statue of the Fountain appears to be bleeding out of his head. No, I mean, he's a fountain. He's fountaining. It's also not red, unless you have, like, clear blood, in which case I think maybe you're a perfect homunculus? I'm not... No, we did see the blood color of the perfect homunculus in Raincoat. It was also pink. If you don't know what that means, I'm so jealous of you. But also, you can check out my YouTube channel, which you may already be watching right now. Okay, so... Actually, no. I don't think I want to do that yet. I think there's kind of a lot going on in this room, so let's resolve that before going any further.
This is Conroy's first guitar. It says here that he practiced diligently for 2 weeks, then gave it up and hired a backup band.
That story warms the cockles of my heart.
So do car crashes. Cripes, look at all the trophies.
I think this Bumpus goon is overcompensating for his lack of stature, Sam. And besides, I've got a lot more trophies than he does.
I think this is going to trigger something weird.
It's a portrait of John Muir.
Say, Sam, just who is John Muir?
Who's John Muir? Hey guys, this dope doesn't know who John Muir is.
You gotta be kidding.
What a maroon.
What a dib cow poop.
What a
Sam,
nim
the
cow
dead
poop.
animal heads are talking to me.
Where?
Up there.
Well,
But,
you really shouldn't tell
I know,
fibs
right,
about
Ditto?
dead
What an
animals,
idiot.
Max.
but,
Stop bugging me. I'm admiring this portrait of John Muir.
but who's John Muir?
Do you really want to know?
If you'll stop talking, sure.
Okay.
I love
Get
how
it,
many
boys.
things in this game are
There
driven
once
by the
was a
desire to
man
just
named
not hear them
John
talk
Muir.
anymore.
A naturalist, noble and pure,
His love for all beasties.
The most and the leasties.
has never been
Edutainment.
equal.
For sure.
A stunning portrait of John Muir, famous naturalist.
I'll just take that, I think. What else?
Look, they're paintings of trophies.
Paintings of trophies. Why?
Genuine imitation American-style chest. Not intended for any kind of use. A great addition for your genuine imitation American collection.
Home shopping.
Definitely.
Not intended for any kind of use. Can't stress this enough. Please don't buy this product.
Bumpusville is proud to present the master of melody, the king of country, Mr. Entertainment, Conroy Bumpus.
Is he doing a live performance for no audience in his own home?
Remember my childhood in Brighton, when dear old Dad would bounce me on his knee. He'd say, son, there ain't nothing as exciting as exposing beasts to inhumanity. That's why I'm happy to be king of the creatures. I'm proud to be the lord of the old. I love collecting things with grotesque features. It makes me feel like some Chaldean god.
I feel like this is definitely criminal in some way.
Before I could speak, killed me a bear when I was free. And now with this Bigfoot and giraffe-necked freak, I finally have a full menagerie. Hit it, boys!
I feel like this song took a harsh tonal turn at some point.
Oh, it's tough to be a country western star.
They don't seem happy to be here.
Thank you, thank you.
Like the little delay for the
Attention,
toupee.
please. Conroy Bumpus has left the building.
It's the musical interlude portion of Sam and Max. I think those two back-to-back songs are pretty much it. Got a lot of comments in chat. My sister says, you could tell this was made in San Francisco, where Muir was a big deal. I gotta be honest, the only place I know famed naturalist John Muir from at all is this game. And to the point that I was never entirely sure what percent fictional that character or the appreciation for him might be. Lots of comments on who that character might be. I mean, that's Conroy Bumpus. He's sort of our nemesis for the purpose of this game. I think he's most directly meant to be like some weird mashup of like Elvis and country western singer. And from that number, you can tell that it works about as well as it should, as it sounds, which it doesn't, is basically. My sister also passed along a warning about the rain. I always have. I'm always ready for the rain to return. I'm always prepared for a heavy rain because I live here and have experienced 2 rent increases in 2 months. And it is not going well with my mental health. So we're not going to talk about that anymore. Instead, we're going to talk to this Bigfoot and this giraffe-necked freak.
Hey, Bruno.
I thought you could talk to them before you freed them.
Hey, Trixie.
Jack's forever.
I suppose not.
Bumpusville sings.
Very informative. Now, we finally need to go find this guy. And I need my book. So I believe if I use book on
Now
him,
that
then I
read
get...
that ponderous manual, I can move the robot around like this.
I'm impressed.
That's nothing. Watch this.
Help me, Sam and Max. You're my only hope.
That was
LucasArts game.
gratuitous.
Sorry.
It's gratuitous.
This might be more useful.
I love how, like, blatant the 90s was with, like, the trope of, like, hit something to make it work. He's like, I read the instruction manual, so now I can do this! So I think ultimately the way this works, you can sort of configure this a few different ways, but I think the only thing that matters is like you want it to go into the room with the singing and the lasers. So based on the layout, the far right is the bedroom we were in before. Slightly above that is a room we haven't gone in yet. Then we have this little alcove we're basically standing in now, where we got the presentation on famed naturalist John Muir. And then off to the far left should be that room where we just witnessed that really regrettable song. So I think if I... What's the way to leave this screen? Don't recall this basic piece of information. Is it escape?
I don't think the cute little robot wants to follow its new programming, Sam.
I don't recall giving it a cute little choice. There he goes.
I'm ripe with anticipation.
I thought I smelled something.
What the?
How Pavlovian.
And you should know.
Oh, that's right. I forgot a step in this process.
It's a virtual reality helmet.
This game is way ahead of its time. Now, much like at the end of the last episode,
This is virtual reality? I may be sick.
again, ahead of its time. This is my experience every time I try virtual reality. I feel like using the virtual reality helmet, much like trying to get the mood ring with the magnet out of the ball of twine, is like, you figure this out by doing it. I like spent a little bit of time trying to search and figure out like what is actually meant to lead you to use the magnet to get the mood ring. I clearly remember it, but like I cannot figure out what in the game is supposed to tell you that this is what you're doing. The toes are worse? No, I mean they're just hands or whatever. Just don't worry about it. There's always been something unsettling to me about... They do the cartoon antics of you basically trying to separate Max's body from his head, and then you just see him pull the sword out, and you're like, but what just happened? Forgot that Sam was a dog. Of course he's a dog. Look at him. He's such a good boy. I should have looked at that sword before picking it up.
Yonder lies the castle of my father, the king.
Can't even look at the cave? Alright, well, let's walk to it, I guess.
I don't indiscriminately use...
Oh, I got eaten. I think I had to cycle all the way back around to sword.
Well?
I didn't save the princess.
What are you two doing here?
Leaving.
I knew I had to use the sword, but because I didn't have my inventory box, I didn't think I would need to cycle back around. I was confused as to what I need to do, but I believe that is the missing step. Although, before I do that, I should probably just talk... I think you can, like, talk to him in here and, like, learn things... I think you can, like, theoretically learn some of these things to look out for that I just know from playing this game too much. Nothing in particular to look at other than the VR helmet, I guess.
It's Conroy's thuggish henchman, Lee Harvey.
I like that weird adventure game notion that you just say that out loud in front of him and he doesn't react.
I feel a nigh uncontrollable urge to stick bolts in your neck and shout, "It's alive! It's alive!"
Nigh.
Can I help you two?
Everyone's got their priorities straight. No, Lee Harvey. He's a local henchman. He's part of the union, the Guild of Calamitous Intent. And use Teeth Man on NPC. Ditto, I'm gonna need you to use words that I can understand. I assume by Teeth Man you mean Max the rabbity-thing. But I'll thank you to use his Steve Purcell given name, because scientifically no one's quite sure what's going on there. Dude is actually the most polite one here. I mean, that's sort of a matter of perspective. It does not take very much for this character to become violent.
Well, we'll be looking around ourselves. Don't get up.
Fine.
What you reading?
Dial Linux by L. Rod Hubble. It's changing my life.
You sure are one dedicated employee.
Yep, that's me. Detonated.
So, what's this Conroy Bumpus Yahoo really like?
Has he got any deep, dark secrets we can exploit for monetary gain?
Hey, don't
Always a
be
good question to
casting no
ask.
aspirations toward Mr. Bumpus. He busted me out of the youth camp, gave me this high-paying $4.75 an hour job, taught me how to speak Swahili, found a baboon's heart for my sister's transplant operation, and he sings real pretty too.
How can you stand to work for someone who persecutes harmless beasts like Bruno the Bigfoot?
On my feet?
He's got you there, Sam.
Don't you have any misgivings about hunting harmless freaks like Trixie?
I did, but then I took a couple aspirin.
Does that treat that?
Oh, what's all this virtual reality equipment for?
The way I understand it, Mr. Bumpus uses a sophisticated virtual reality scenario to interface with the mansion security system.
The devil, you say?
The devil! The devil!
Yeah, sometimes Mr. Bumpus lets me use the equipment. I pretend I'm over 100 feet tall and everyone else is like ants and I just squish, 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 squish.
We get the picture. Well, we'll be looking around ourselves. Don't get up.
Fine.
Skip it.
Alright, let's go provoke our little robot friend to be mischievous again. Magic book. Computer spell.
I
No,
can't
don't
do
run away from
anything
me.
with it while it's moving. Follow me, you Spielbergian robot. Let's try
Pretty
this
sure
again.
you can have this interaction in any room that he is willing to go into. Ah, now he's set to go nowhere. Figured it out.
Get along, little robot.
Part of me wonders if there's some like processor speed thing that makes that alarm sound too quickly, because it seems unnatural.
He's not getting any smarter, is he?
Saunter quickly, Sam, and also to a lesser extent Max. Dino clarified before that he wants Max to bite Lee Harvey's face. Now, Max has lost in a straight
I
fight
still don't see
to
what all the
Lee
fuss
Harvey
is about.
once before, so we'll need to be more creative the next time we truly intend to fight him.
It's a Cheesley polygon sword.
Yeah, it's pretty. That's the disturbing thing right there. Stab, 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 stab. Oh no, the sword dissolved. Does that mean that Max is gone too?
It's a chunky, hovering dragon's heart. Just like the one I have at home.
No one asked how that key became real.
Well,
I am the keymaster.
does that come with a dental plan?
I
Dental
don't know what
plan?
you two
Lisa
critters
needs
are up
braces.
to, but I want you out of here. Now.
It's not a particularly good security system considering how easy it is to thwart. It's also not a particularly good key since it looks like a 4-year-old drew it from memory.
I can't use these things
They're
together.
gonna make me walk and cycle through my inventory. What am I, made of time? Anyway, now that we have this key, we can thwart the security system. Which is this tiny little box with the bell on it in the room with the captives. I like that it was entirely unnecessary to do that, but just for the symbolic nature of it, she holds up the tambourine for him to punch straight through. That's right, Trixie the long-necked giraffe girl from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Ah, my arm! It has become
back to
noodle.
the circus with you.
I'm feeling a little morally conflicted about taking Bruno back to the circus.
I'm not. Let's go, you big lug.
Stay away from him, you malefactor.
I'm not a malefactor. I'm a lagomorph.
Look, I'm not going back to the circus, and I'm late for a party.
Oh yeah, the Bigfoot party. Where is it?
It's at Evelyn Morrison's Savage Jungle Inn in picturesque Half-Life, Nevada. Bigfoots.
And their dates.
Only.
Let's go.
I have a greater appreciation for the fact that Max calls himself a lagomorph than I used to, but we'll get to that perhaps later this year. So let's see. There's like one more thing to do here, but we specifically can't do that yet. I don't think I'm missing anything else. So I do actually think the next place to go is to the Bigfoot party. But I think we'll actually be pretty limited in what we can do there for the moment. I think we managed a pretty thorough tour of Bumpusville. How much do you think you'd pay to go to Bumpusville? I'll assume that I'm rounding down to the nearest $0 on that one. Demolition says about $3.50. That's pretty generous.
Tiki-rific.
Yeah, I feel immersed in native culture.
I just hope this place has authentic Savage Tiki drinks with that authentic Tiki tang. It's a miniature mighty volcano, lending authenticity to this jungle motif.
Looks like a gopher mound.
Savage Jungle Inn.
You won't read the podiatrically gifted part? That is a difficult word to say, huh? Well, let's head inside. See what we see.
I remember seeing this movie in theaters when I was a pup. During the climactic scene, they dropped giant rubber snakes on the audience. Why don't they make movies like that anymore?
Higher standards?
Probably.
Don't you attack my nostalgia? This game is from 1993.
Don't be silly. Don't be silly.
You don't want to talk to the toucan? I guess that's fair. I make it a habit to always lead with Duck.
You know, you look like a really scary version of Evelyn Morrison, famed B-movie star.
I am Evelyn Morrison, you cur!
Actually, I'm more of an Irish wolfhound than a cur. I've seen all your movies.
My favorite was Robot Terror from Beyond the Galaxy.
Is that the one where the alien says, Clam do Beretta Nimno?
No, that's Vampirus in Prison.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like Evelyn Morrison's autograph?
Actually, we just want to ask a few questions.
Evelyn Morrison is always available for interviews.
Chicky says, I'm older than this game. Good. I appreciate that. I assume a really uncomfortable number of people in chat are not.
Have you had any problems with the Bigfoots?
Evelyn Morrison has always worked well with grotesque creatures of the night.
I'll take that as a no, then.
I just love, there's something so... There's something, like, weirdly endearing about the fact that, like, everyone in this game just says, like, exactly the thing they're thinking. like, in a normal world, if you said these things in front of people, like, people would get upset. But they're just like, nah, it's just like, everyone is just kind of okay with the no filter thing. It's just like a rule of this world.
You haven't seen a short, self-absorbed, crazy as a bedbug country western singing star around here, have you?
If you mean Conroy Bumpus, Evelyn Morrison had him ejected from the premises hours ago.
Why?
He was harassing Evelyn Morrison's guests.
I have this sudden craving for an umbrella drink.
Evelyn Morrison's Jungle Inn has the greatest umbrella drinks in the world, with over 237 kinds of rum.
That's a lot of rum.
All in just one drink? Which way to the bar?
Take it easy, Max. You don't even drink.
Oh, yeah. The toucan must have put words into my mouth.
Action!
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Corman.
How'd you end up in the hotel business?
I bet it was a sordid combination of fast cars and fast living. Vroom, vroom.
It was the stars.
Bigger movie stars than you? Pshaw.
Pshaw?
No, the stars didn't get bigger. The rubber monsters got smaller.
I don't even know how to interpret that.
I still say it was a lurid tale of sin and depravity.
I'll get back to you later.
Evelyn Morrison will be here. In the meantime, why not take some of these brochures?
Brochures, you said?
Evelyn Morrison's autograph on them, making them must-have collectibles.
Thanks.
Hold on. Gotta take a look at these brochures.
I hate it when you hum, Sam. It sounds like a high-voltage tower.
These are pamphlets for the Mount Rushmore Dinosaur Tar Pit and Bungee Jumping National Park in North Dakota, and someplace called the Celebrity Vegetable Museum in Goat Liver, Texas.
Is Goat Liver, Texas a real place?
I think I like the humming better.
Now let's see if we can join that Bigfoot party. I can't immediately remember any dialogue specifically telling me not to do that.
Stop.
What's up?
Only Sasquatches and their dates are allowed on the convention floor.
Tell me more about this. Lead with duck.
Bigfoot, Bigfoot, let me in.
Not by the numerous hairs on my chinny chin chin.
Max going absolutely ham on that automatic door. Neko asks, which vegetables do you think are celebrities? Oh, you'll find out, Neko.
What's bugging you? We just want to check out the party for a minute to see some friends.
Aside from my flea and tick problem, my feet hurt. It's not like us Sasquatch can order up some orthopedic shoes anytime we want.
Do you have any new dialogue with Max? I haven't checked in a minute.
I'm filled with disgust and an odd sense of foreboding.
And?
Rasp, rasp, rasp.
You're losing it, Sam.
Never knew why that option was there. Is it just meant to remind you that you have that item because it takes so long for it to be useful? I don't know.
Well, that's all.
Just wanted to say rasp a few times. Well, we should probably check out those cool places from those brochures. And since Neko is so curious, why don't we go to the Celebrity Vegetable Museum?
What detail?
See the carrot leaning out of the book depository?
Never mind that. What about the string beans behind the fence on the grassy knoll?
It's quite the diorama that's
Celebrity
implied.
Vegetable Museum.
Yes, Cornhenge. Indeed, Cornhenge. There's so much to look at, and yet so few things to actually look at with your eye
Which one of these
cursor.
guys is the walrus?
The celery stalk. Remaindered Conroy Bumpus eggplants.
I guess his 15 minutes of fame are about up.
Conroy Bumpus vegetable, you saying? That's a celebrity. I kind of hate that I have this now. Let me just put that away. Anything else to look at over here?
I can't believe Harrison actually agreed to this.
It is a stunning likeness, though.
It's amazing what they can do with mushrooms.
This is such a bizarre concept, even for this game that's full of such truly bizarre concepts.
It's a whole heap of eggplants shaped like Conroy Bumpus' head.
Let's talk to this lady. Duck first.
Incidentally, we're out of milk.
I'll make a note.
Did I hit Max instead of her? No, because I'd have more options.
So what do you know about Bigfoots?
Well, they don't translate well into vegetables.
That
I've
tracks.
been experimenting with the idea for a while. There's just no such thing as a furry vegetable.
Check out our fridge.
Got him.
What prompted that batch of Conroy heads over there?
Well, I was trying a new growth hormone for some of my more distinguished personalities when I realized it was no good. Now it won't stop. They just keep growing like that. Big misshapen growths on top. Reminded me of Conroy Bumpus, so I ran a special.
The special is giving them away.
How late are you open?
As late as you want. Gotta grab the sales when you can in this business.
Just lives in this big smiling gourd. I don't know how I feel about
I
that.
grow more fascinated by the moment. So what's the biggest thing in vegetable celebrities right now?
I can't believe I lived long enough to hear you say that, Sam.
You may not believe this, Sonny, but the biggest thing right now is miniaturization.
Miniaturization?
Peas.
Peas?
I know, it seems impossible. All we are saying is give peas a chance.
Oof, really went through some gymnastics for that one. I guess this taro is a hairy vegetable and it would make a great Bigfoot. I don't know what that is, and I'm immediately unsettled by its existence.
Well, bye.
Thought I would get this information from her. Maybe I have to use the
Your
sign.
likeness from picture.
Now let's talk to her.
What the holy mother of gourd is this?
Oh, isn't it obvious? I grow vegetables in the shapes of famous celebrities. For a small fee, I'll grow a vegetable from a photograph.
Oh, that would have been my second guess.
Now what's weird is, I don't know why that wouldn't prompt on the first time talking to her. I don't know why you have to read the sign before she'll say that. There's not maybe anything else in the game that works that way. I think that's all I needed, though. I just think I needed her to acknowledge that. So, I have a celebrity of sorts. Can you make me a vegetable
What do
of
you
this
make of
likeness? Entire painting. Famed naturalist John Muir.
Muir, huh? This looks like a zucchini squash to me. I can do this, but it'll take a short while.
I like that at this point in the game, you've already needed to buy something in order to advance, so the game doesn't even, like, leave a check in your way to see that you have the money. It's just like, obviously you have the money item, it's implied that you pay for this, but it doesn't matter. So I think we, like, leave this wretched place now. We can check out that other new location.
At least the DeSoto stopped making that funny noise.
I told you not to run over that biker gang.
Foreshadowing full
When
throttle?
this is all over, we
No.
should really get this car looked at by a qualified mechanic. Let's do George. George, faux forge, banana, faux forge, feed by faux forge, George.
There isn't any president. We can't rhyme.
Don't remember the bug. Kinda have to work for it, though.
What kind of dinosaurs are those, Sam?
From the size of their grandfibular extensions, I'd say they were a couple of brichybrachiosaurs.
Are they dangerous?
They're only robots, Max. Dinosaurs have been extinct for millions of years.
No one tells me anything.
You not actually have them comment on the fact that people are bungee jumping out of the noses of presidents? Perhaps. Perhaps that is true. The boogers. That's one name for them.
It's a fearsome maw.
Hi, my name is Rex, the Thunder Lizard. During the late Jurassic period,
What?
I was king of the dinosaurs. As you can
There's
see,
like a...
my tiny forearms
There's a
are
creaking.
quite useless. But I more than make up for it with my powerful tail, my muscular legs, and my savage razor-sharp teeth.
What?
Some people make fun of me because I've got a brain the size of a walnut. But they usually stop making fun of me after I eat them.
I'm pretty impressed by the ones that don't get stopped
Hi,
by that.
my name is Rex, the Thunder...
This
All right,
is a
we hit-
completely unusable thingamabob.
We hit the full loop there. We have more fun dinosaur facts, although Mammoth Mastodon is not actually a dinosaur, even though Mighty Morphin Power Rangers would have you believe otherwise. Needs oil. Yeah, isn't there something ironic about that, Jakey? That dinosaur robot needs oil, oil being a fossil fuel created from the fossil of dinosaurs. It's all cyclical.
Hi, I'm Wally, the woolly mammoth. I may be extinct now, but during the Ice Age, I was king of the mammals. Hi, I'm Wally, the woolly mammoth. I may be extinct.
There's a lot less to say.
I've seen hair like this somewhere before.
Your butt?
No, this hair has the same coarseness as Sasquatch hair.
You don't suppose they skin Sasquatches to make this cheesy roadside attraction?
Who knows? More importantly, who cares?
Once again, the game has given us a valuable clue, and this one's a bit out there. I'm gonna pose this one to chat as something of a thought experiment. So, as the game is implied, we kind of need to acquire some of this mammoth fur. We have on our possession what we need to accomplish this task. What do you think that is? Ocean asks, did you see that they're remaking Until Dawn? Yes. I mean, I'd heard, like, it's strongly rumored because of the release of the movie, whenever the heck that's happening. But, yeah, I saw... It's gradually been developing. I saw that they, like, pulled the original from, like, the PlayStation shop or something like that, like, not that long ago, and then they announced the new one. Hair tape doorway cat. No, that's a different game. That's a game that's famous for ruining the genre instead of being a great example of it. Handspringy thing. It's an interesting idea. It would help you reach the hair you can't get. Miracle Grow on the grabby hand. That's also an interesting thought. If you just, like, maybe get the hair to start growing on the hand by covering it in the hair grow goo. Hair grow goo! The German baby Yoda! I don't know what kind of word association is happening in my brain. Bathroom key file. Yeah, sure, you could scrape it off. You know, that's one way to get it off there. Snow globe. Not entirely sure where your head's at, but I like the creative thinking. But I'm afraid none of you is even close, because the correct answer is to use Max on Mammoth.
Hey, Max.
Hey, what?
I've got a job for those mighty incisors of yours.
What?
See that woolly mammoth?
What about it?
Stop playing dumb and get chomping.
I like that he just walks away so that the game can not have to render what's happening.
Fine work, Max. Now we've got more full woolly mammoth hair than we'll ever need, and we've learned an important lesson.
Yeah, the woolly mammoths died of embarrassment.
guess that's the lesson, since we weren't corrected on that. We have to give him privacy. Well, you would think, and yet here we are. It's indecent. We're not done with this dinosaur stop just yet, but let's go explore a little further.
This place evokes a sense of wonder.
You have to wonder.
I kind of forgot this screen is in this game. I don't think by itself anything important happens here, but it's just this, like, bizarre and genuinely upsetting idea that it's like, alright, let's let the kids play in the tar pool.
I can't remember the last time I saw so much tar.
Me neither, but my long-term memory is virtually non-existent.
Huh. You know, I never thought about it before. But do you think it's possible that one might equate Max to Tech and myself to Sam, and that's why we get along? And why we're the Renegade Constabulary, a sort of non-conformist police organization?
This line's not moving very quickly.
The same thing could be said about the plot.
That's not funny, Max.
I don't remember ever trying to talk to the kids.
I bet this is an e-ticket ride.
Well, what the heck are you talking about, Methuselah?
You should show more respect toward your elders, Sonny.
Lol,
Respect
e-ticket
this,
joke.
Bowser Breath. Ooh, can I pummel him now, Sam?
No, Max. Puberty will be punishment enough for this one.
True.
What an apt and horrifying thing to say. Tech is a lagomorph? I always suspected. When's the last time you used Tech as a sword? Like, October? Yeah. I knew you would appreciate the Disney joke. Funny godmother.
Oh, the humanity.
Where?
We want to ride the tar slide.
Line forms in the back, Shep.
A rude dude.
Can we cut in line?
Not on your life, Fido.
This game, one thing that Sam Max doesn't really do is, like, establish, like, what the norms of this world are. Like, no one's ever surprised to see a dog in a suit and his talking rabbity-thing friend. But at the same time, you don't really come across a lot of things quite like that. You see a little more along those lines in the Telltale games. And I think the cartoon has, like, some amount of it, but, like, they're still sort of an oddity even within their own world.
So long, Squirt.
When's the last time you asked Tech to chomp mammoth hair? Like, yesterday. We were playing Magic yesterday. Through Spell Table. And I was very pleased, because even though I extremely lost that game, I got to use Platinum Angel for value, which I don't think I've ever managed to do in the entirety of the time I've had that card, and I got it at the pre-release for Mirrodin circa, like, 2004. It's like I've had that card for, like, 20 years, and I've never had it be relevant until yesterday.
She must be the instructor on duty.
I was trying to look at this candy or cigarette machine, but that's okay.
How can you take the smell?
After a while, your nose will go numb and you won't care. Trust me.
Oh, by the way, if you're not familiar with tar pits, they smell like awful fart. They smell like constant fart. I used to work near the La Brea tar pits, and, like, pretty much that entire stretch of area, if you go outside, it just smells like tar pit. And it just smells awful, like, just like the most lingering forever fart. I'm impressed that Neko can verify this. She says Kohei uses Platinum Angel all the time, and it is not often you see it do its thing. Nah, because normally, like, it just gets removed right away, or you die before you play it or something. Like, it just doesn't come up. And I had it happen twice where, like, Tech was trying to, like, win with commander damage and, like, didn't want to layer it on me because he couldn't get rid of the Platinum Angel right away. So it, like, deterred him from attacking me. And then, at the end of the game, I was able to, like, play a creature from my deck, and, like, nothing could immediately, like, stop what our last opponent was doing. And then I was like, well, I still have one play, and it's Platinum Angel. And there was briefly a point where my life total was -8 and I hadn't lost the game. And that's really all I wanted from yesterday. It says he was playing Commander last night when a 2.5-hour game that involved the game coming to a complete standstill while we politicked who should kill and terms and conditions. I mean, you're not saying that the standstill was 2.5 hours, right? If it was a 2.5-hour break of politics, that's probably too long. If it was a 2.5-hour game with like a 15-minute politic break, that seems Commander. Always assumed tar would smell like asphalt. It's been a really long time since I've been around like asphalt being applied. That may also smell like horrific lingering fart. But I can tell you that like the tar pits by themselves smell awfully of fart. Just fart. Haven't been there yet and was not aware of the farts. It's just the farts, ma'am. Standstill was 15 to 20 minutes spent in the declare attacker step. Yeah, that's Commander's what that is. It's true. I mean, partially because of my Platinum Angel, Cotillion was attacked. Actually, you may appreciate this. Tech was playing Rafik of the Many as his commander, and he got Finest Hour out, which I think I've talked about before, because I sometimes make the incredibly arcane reference that something is or isn't Rafik's Finest Hour. Because, like, Finest Hour is a card that depicts Rafik, like, just, like, leading a charge into battle, and, like, being totally awesome. And, like, Tech has a deck that plays both of them. And it was Rafik's Finest Hour because he attacked Cotillion for, like, it was, like, a lot. Didn't we determine it was, like, 27 commander damage in one attack? Because it was, like, unblockable with lifelink and double strike and, like, a ton of things boosting his power and toughness? That was definitely Rafik's Finest Hour. That might be the finest I've ever seen Rafik's Hour be.
My nose is running.
Whose isn't?
My nose is running.
Whose isn't?
You don't have a lot of things to talk to her about, huh?
You're in law enforcement. How much would you charge us to use the bungees?
Enthusiastic law enforcement.
I'd let you go anytime. I'm partial to dog and bunny teams.
That's weird.
Works for me.
I mean, everything about that feels like an appropriate response to me.
I don't need a map to get to Bonetown.
Hey, that furry pig thing is still down there.
That's the beauty of this tar. It's always at the right consistency and temperature. It could be days before you sink too low for us to find you.
I'm convinced. Let's go, Flyboy.
Bye.
I think,
So
do I
long,
just
Hugh.
use the bungee jump? Do I have to do something? I don't actually remember. It must be simple, whatever it is. Because if it was convoluted, I would probably remember.
Wait, you need your bungee jumping safety suit. There's one hanging behind the screen.
So, what do you
Flawless. Quite the
It
drip.
fits you just fine.
Ooh, stand back. She may pounce.
think? It's a danger I face every day. So, Max, what do you think?
A regular 007.
Are you sure?
Clint baby would be nervous. But get moving. I'm beginning to think you're stalling.
Yikes
Clint.
forever.
Baby.
Who's stalling? I'm just waiting for my buddy to come here and check out this spectacular view.
There's something really quintessentially Sam and Max about this.
I can't use these things together.
I have to... No, I just grabs them when I use it. I'm gonna let this one ride. There's something to do here. I wonder if you can guess what it is. It says, Vasco, if you're Sam, do you also have unsettling toes? And if so, can you not? Yes and no, I think, are technically correct. I would argue I do have... I don't think they're as upsetting in the way that Sam's are that you seem to be unable to avoid thinking about, Neko. But then again, I'm also just, like, not a foot person, so maybe I just don't like toes in general. Are we dipping something? That's a thought. Let's take a look at our inventory again. What do you think we're doing? Now, we could, like, wait for a specific reason to do this, but honestly, I think we're about as close to having that as we're gonna get, because this is sort of an implied task. I'll give you a hint. We've already acquired something here that is part of the same multi-step task that we're intending to advance with this bungee jump scenario. I guess as you do this the other way around so you could dunk yourself in the tar, get mammoth fur to stick to you. That's pretty close to right, but it's not convoluted enough. What's funny about this is that last time everyone suggested that we had to use the grabbing hand, and this time we do indeed need to use the grabbing hand. And part of the reason, I guess, that the game immediately detaches the magnet is because we need a different extender to go in Jesse James's severed hand.
It's a broken golf ball retriever with a cup attached to it.
Now we can scoop! I just love the sheer irreverence of, like, every task. There it is. Bloop. Doesn't feel like enough tar. Now remember, Neko, when we picked that cup up, it was a large American-sized soda cup. Do you have any idea how much tar that is? You ever seen Parks and Recreation? Where there's like an episode where they're having like a debate on like regulation for the size of drinks, and there's a child size, but the child size is gigantic because it's supposed to be essentially the liquid volume of a child? Like legit, like, I don't know if you're goofing or don't recall Devolution, but like literally when we picked it up, that's more or less what I said. Is like, now they call it a large cup, but the depiction in our inventory looks like a literal small by today's standards. So, now, as Neko sort of theorized, we have our jumpsuit.
Now the costume is covered with tar.
And now
we've got a Stiltwalker's costume covered with tar and faux woolly mammoth hair.
It looks pretty much like a Stiltwalker outfit covered in tar and fake woolly mammoth hair, and not so much what we need it to be, but that's fine, I think. Yeah, is there anything else to do here? I think we can leave that for later. I think it'll be more narratively interesting if we wait until we have a reason to do that. Is there anything different I can say to you now that I've scooped up some tar, or that I look like this?
How can you take this smell?
After a while, your nose will go numb and you won't care. Trust me.
I don't know, there's just... It's really hard for me to articulate all the things I like about the world of Sam and Max. Like, there's just something really funny and subtle to me about the fact that, like, you have to go through all these steps and wear this ridiculous getup so that Sam is following all the safety guidelines, and then he, like, literally just, like, picks up Max by the legs. You know? Like,
So
safety
long,
be darned.
cutie.
Wait, like, that you always have a rubber duck. It's a good option, and it's a good lead for every conversation. I have no idea how you conceive of this place, by the way. Like a tar pit with bungee jumping over it? Like, what? Like, these are the types of things that I feel like modern, like, creative stories lack. It's just, like, these really interesting, novel, unique, memorable things. Not that nothing has those, but I just feel like it's a lot less common in this age of, like, corporate overwroughtization of stories where it's good.
You must be this tall.
What happens if I'm not?
Oh, it's a natural woodland creature enjoying the advancements of humankind.
And his friend with the snout seems to be submerged in the fun as well.
Can I actually use Max on this child?
I don't think he'd want that.
Which he? Okay, so for the moment I'm gonna call this place done. We're not quite finished here, but that combination of items was pretty important to what we're doing. We do have to pick up something before the vegetable museum closes. Just kidding, it's always open because they're so desperate for business. And having worked at a startup, I know what that's like. By the way, speaking of modern media, has anyone else been seeing these, like, updates about the Avatar The Last Airbender live-action project? And how, like, not confidence-inspiring they are? Anyone enjoying that? You appreciate that the Mammoth's art changed? I do as well, Demolition. Can I have my famed naturalist John Muir plant?
Where's my John Muir vegetable?
Here you go, son. A
Like how-
zucchini squash that looks just like John Muir.
Gee, thanks, man.
There's something I like about how irritated that line delivery is. Where's my John Muir vegetable? Seems like a dumpster fire, much like the new Suicide Squad game. Oh man, I've sure seen some clips of that. Yikes forever. Woof. Bow wow. I mean, like, listen, I know that there's a lot going on there, but whoever made that game, whoever, like, is the creative force behind those key decisions of, like, what that game comes across as, like, those are some strong choices, my friends. Those are your Funyuns, those are not my
Thanks.
Funyuns.
Bye.
Put that away. Technically, I don't need that yet, but, you know, we had to go to the Celebrity Vegetable Museum, and there's a sign that says you can have a celebrity vegetable made. I'm not gonna not do it, right? WB is... You think that's also just the faceless corporate entity guiding the story? It does seem like Warner Brothers' MO these days. Don't want to buy Luther Bucks. Are Luther Bucks a thing? I've missed this. Is that like in-game currency? Mostly what I've seen are like some of those key cutscenes of like what happens to the Justice League members when the Suicide Squad interacts with them, and they all just seem awful. Is the premium currency? Why does a game like that need premium currency? What are you talking about? Seems like they intentionally made a bad game. I don't know about that. I honestly have seen very little gameplay, but that story just seems like maddening. You've heard the dialogue rating
Close enough
is
for
good,
jazz.
and that's it.
Let's go.
Oof, that does not inspire confidence either. But yeah, going back to my original question, like, I'm not even sure... I don't think I would call myself, like, the biggest Avatar The Last Airbender fan. I think it's great. But, like... Yeah, like every statement they've made has basically just been like, we didn't understand the point of the whole show, so we changed really important things for no value, and you'll love it because it's live action and not stinky animation. And like, they just like, not only do they not know the project, they clearly don't know their audience. Like, people are not digging it. They got Kevin Conroy, so that's cool. It's not nothing. Let's talk to this guy again. Reading it's not his last game. I do feel like I heard something about he had recorded for something else, but I don't recall what it was. I didn't think it was a game, though. I thought it was like a movie or something.
Bigfoot, Bigfoot, let me in.
Not by the numerous hairs on my chinny chin chin.
I appreciate the deliberate annoyingness of what Max is doing, but at the same time, he could not.
So what else is new?
Same old, same old. My feet still hurt, and you two keep asking stupid questions.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna pose this to you again. We're just in this portion of the game that it's like, part of the reason this game took me so long to beat in the first place is, again, I played it at a relatively young age, and some of the concepts are probably a little advanced beyond what I was able to really like think through in terms of puzzle solutions and whatnot. But our inventory currently contains what we need to help this Bigfoot's feet feel better. And to this day, while I have something of an understanding of what the idea here is, as a youth, the solution felt utterly arbitrary. Just like, felt like I couldn't possibly have guessed the correct answer. Neko asks, when you crash the Bigfoot party, will Max be your date? I'm gonna definitively say no to that. And you might be able to guess why, but we'll get there probably not too far in the future. Thanks for pausing it so we don't have to hear the squeak squeak. Squeak squeak, where have I heard that before? It does sound familiar, but I'm glad not to be listening to it right now. Golf balls. Fun fact about the golf balls. Considering that I've indicated you should look for something... squeak squeak! Considering that I've indicated you should look for something that basically doesn't make sense as a solution, that's a good guess. But a fun fact about the golf balls is you literally don't ever use them for anything. They only exist as an item so that you can replace them with a bucket of fish, and for them to not just disappear to the aether. See, Ditto would be a great director for the Avatar movie. Although, it's a series, isn't it? For some reason, I keep thinking they're doing a movie again, but, like, that would be an even worse idea. But my bar for that is to just have any understanding of the source material. The person they put in charge seems to just, I don't know, hate it or something. I don't know why we keep doing that. We did it with The Witcher, too. And I know very little about The Witcher, and I didn't watch the series, but, like, all the behind-the-scenes drama seems just absolutely maddening. Like, they got a pretty big-name celebrity to play their, like, relatively unknown, like, video game source material character in a Netflix show, and, like, instead of, like, doing everything possible to, like, keep him around and, like, enthusiastic about the project and even, like, take advantage of the fact that he understands the character better than anyone else, like, instead, they got this, like, hostile writer who, like, actively hates The Witcher and, like, deferred to, like, all their decisions and then kicked him off the project, that Henry Cavill. And it's like, what are you doing? That's, like, literally the opposite of what you should do, you lunatic. Nico says, I don't know what's wrong with Bigfoot's feet. Do they have bits of metal in them? Fish magnet? Well, that's part of the problem here, is that I don't feel like the game does an extremely clear job of indicating what the problem with his feet is. I don't know if this is, like, one of those things that, like, enough adults experience this problem or something that, like, the people who made this game thought it would be, like, commonplace. But I'm just gonna level with you. The answer is to give him the rasp attached to the bathroom key from the Snuckies. He's going to use the rasp to, like, scrape like, injured bits off of his feet. And I just, like, I sort of, but I don't, it's, okay.
Here.
But, like, we already have, like, all the clues the game is going to give us that this is what we need to do, so I'm just going to do it.
Ooh. Ah. This is great. Really great. I owe you guys.
But, like, yeah, he's got, like, little bandages on his feet. I don't, it's just... It's already kind of an esoteric thing in my mind, and it could be a lot clearer. It's like one of the... It's like this and the mood ring, and, like, maybe one or two other things are probably... I mean, arguably, like, the timed element on the Tunnel of Love is not great. It's definitely the sort of thing that if I encountered it in the wild in a game now, I'd be annoyed about it, and it's not my favorite part of the game as it is.
Stop. Only Sasquatches and their dates are allowed on the convention floor.
But you said you owed us one. Well, it's a good thing that we've already made this makeshift Bigfoot suit. Let's see how he likes that. There's a convenient changing booth right here.
These things together.
Use it on me? There's some way to do this.
I guess we could try it on.
Use it on Max, okay.
Gee, that's really close. But you guys need something to cover that bunny fella's face.
I see. Well, luckily I have an idea of what we can use to finish this costume, but as he said, it's pretty close. Alright, so, as you might have guessed, one of the only unresolved things that we have to do at the moment is back at Bumpusville. Because I commented on how much I liked the fact that the game indicated to us that we needed to take a different approach than just straight up taking that toupee. And it would be a great way to cover that bunny guy's face. Actually, is there another... I feel like there might actually be one or maybe two, but I think at least one more thing that the well does if you throw money in it.
I wish I knew what Max was thinking. Well, that was a waste of money. Nah, this thing's malfunctioning.
I mean, it's literally granted 2 wishes, so I don't know what more you want. I really appreciate that. There's a joke that's a little like that in Sam & Max Save the World, and it's like literally one of my favorite jokes of all time. Like, it's been a long time since I've played the Telltale Sam & Max games, but like as we've been coming up on the point in time where I'm expecting to play them, I've been thinking more about them, and like there are like specifically 2 things that just come readily to mind from those games. One from Saves the World and one from Time and Space that are like each one of my favorite jokes ever. And I'm really excited to share them with you. And if we end up completing this game a little early, we might troubleshoot that today. I bought it, downloaded it, so I have that option. I don't really have time to set it up in advance. It really only occurred to me today that I might need to do something like that. So this is our...
It's an eggplant that looks somewhat like Conroy Bumpus.
And the only thing I'm going to say before I solve this puzzle is that remember that this is a LucasArts game. So we're concerned about setting off like a sensor in this toupee that we would like to have. Behold, the solution. Max giving the double thumbs up.
Oh my gosh!
Hey! That hurts! Knock it off!
And stay out.
Giraffe.
I don't know what that sound effect is supposed to be. I'm also not entirely sure why it is that just like putting the eggplant on there and still tripping the alarm somehow still ends up with you having the toupee when that wasn't possible before. So now that we have this toupee, let's combine it with our excellent Stiltwalker costume.
Okay, I've attached Conroy Bumpus' toupee to the Stiltwalker's costume.
Now let's go back to that Bigfoot party and see if we pulled it off.
I guess we could try it on.
Hey, that's a downright nice Sasquatch costume. I'll let you guys in with that one.
I mean, it's pretty much everything you could hope for, right? I don't actually remember if these two say anything different while you're in this costume.
Hey, Sam, move us out of here. I'm getting hot
let's
and itchy.
get groping.
Sharing this experience with you, little buddy, makes me realize just how much I need a vacation.
I think someone is a little too excited about this costume, I've gathered from that sound effect played.
Nice outfit.
Evelyn Morrison thanks you.
So where'd you get that way out look?
Lot 5, set 36, wardrobe 14 back in 72. It really works, don't you think?
And it's such a natural look, too.
Nicholas says, not what I was expecting. I thought Max would be in his bridal dress as your designated +1. No, we have to do the Muppet Man! Every good caper has a Muppet Man stage to it.
Hey, Sam, move us out of here. I'm getting hot and itchy.
Sharing this experience with you, little buddy, makes me realize just how much I need a vacation.
I'm sorry for some of the repeat dialogue. This game is old enough that clicking doesn't advance the text, and I do want to try and get a lot of dialogue, so if I think there's another one, I'm sometimes still clicking.
How's the band?
Pretty happy as far as I can tell.
There's something weird about this character where every time you say anything to him, he immediately boots you out of dialogue.
Looks like something important's happening.
How can you see from there?
Hundreds of years ago, it was becoming apparent that our time was running out. Yet we were slow to heed the warnings of impending doom. The seemingly slow encroachment of mankind and all that his many living styles entail seemed like a vague and distant problem. A problem for future generations of Yeti to solve. Blithely, we sat back, ignoring our own inner call for action. Tradition and the status quo were our excuses for complacency. The certainty of not just losing our way of life, but possibly our very lives. And the demise of our entire race is now becoming a reality. A reality we can no longer choose to ignore. As it turns out, the humans and their technology are moving faster than we are, much faster than we had anticipated. And so we now face the final crisis. Unless we pull together, not just acknowledging the need for change, but embracing change not just with our hearts and our minds, but with our actions, we will fall behind, moving backward into extinction. Well,
Tell me how you really feel, chat. I think you got the message. Because says the costume makes it look like, well, the way Sam's nose just sticks out of the body like that. I don't know what you mean, this seems perfectly normal. Yeah, I think I could talk to this guy. I think you can talk to all the not background Bigfoots. Lead with Duck.
So where are all the bodacious Bigfoot babes?
Take it easy, Max. You don't even like girls.
I don't?
Dude, are you like having an argument with your belly button?
No.
He was so stupid.
So, fellow smelly woodland creature, where have you been hiding for the past few years?
Hiding? Dude, I've spent the last 8 years manacled to a dunking booth. If Bruno and his girlfriend hadn't rescued me, I'd still be there.
Hey, I know that place.
Your appetite's bigger than mine.
Hey man, if you'd spent the past 8 years on a bread and water diet, you'd be scarfing down everything in sight too, dude.
Have you seen Bruno around?
I haven't seen the dude since he rescued me. I hear he's hiding out from a crazy bear and bunny who want to drag him off to an evil carnival.
Bear?
What was that?
Gas. Have you heard from Trixie?
I guess she's hiding out with Bruno.
Have you seen Conroy Bumpus around here?
Is he the guy that coined the phrase, hang 10?
No, he's a country western star going berserk.
Weird question.
Heinous.
Is he the guy who coined the phrase hang 10?
So where are all the bodacious Bigfoot babes?
Take it easy, Max. You don't even like girls.
I don't?
Dude, are you like having an argument with your belly button?
Sorry, again. Thought there might be another duck line.
No.
There's a good
I'll let
exchange,
you get
though.
back to your food.
Mahalo, dude.
No.
What choreography?
I like that it's not even really vaguely implied that they're dancing. Just like one Bigfoot on the end is kind of like moving a little bit, like maybe they're pumping their fist or something. Everyone else clearly just looks like they're talking while all facing in the same direction. Like the giant floating
Chateau
pineapple.
Sasquatch 92.
It's pretty good.
A very bad year.
I never hear anyone say a really bad year, but I assume they're out there. Let's talk to another Yeti. Lead with Doc.
Third shadow is 9.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, must have eaten some bad berries.
What do you want?
Has Bruno shown up yet?
Keep your voice down. Bruno's involved in a top-secret reconnaissance mission to the aliens' home planet.
What?
Of course. How silly of me to forget.
Is that why the Bigfoot samples caused aliens to tell us to go to Bumpusville? Seriously, she has a 2020 wide. I think that's hilarious. I mean, 2020 was definitely a bad year. I don't know if it was a bad year for wine in any particular region, but I think it's safe to say whenever you take that bottle out, you can be like, 2020. It was a very bad year.
Have you seen Bruno's girlfriend anywhere?
Shh! She's helping Bruno contact the aliens.
Oh, yeah. You haven't run into Conroy Bumpus, have you?
No, but I know how to deal with him. He has a near-fatal vulnerability to ice, like all beings from the evil planet Snargton.
We'll keep that in mind.
Does that make him a flying type? I don't think he's a dragon type.
You're the skinniest Bigfoot I've ever seen.
I've been fasting in preparation for the day when the aliens come to rescue us.
Okay.
Didn't we meet last summer in Cancun?
I don't think so. I was hanging upside down in a block of ice last summer.
How'd that happen?
Oh, the usual. I was strolling
Time makes
in the
fools of us all.
Andes, minding my own business, when some idiot mountain climber comes along and yells, "Hey, it's the abominable snowman." Next thing I know, there's an avalanche, and I'm covered in 20 feet of snow. When I wake up, I'm hanging upside down in an ice block in some place called the Mystery Vortex.
I like that without overstating it, you get to meet the big feet. Like, you meet all three of the Bigfoots whose, like, fur samples you get to do the weird ritual on Frog Rock. So you get, like, a little bit of their backstory just by, like, talking to them.
We'll catch you later.
Figure of speech.
Bumpus does have that dragon VR game. Yeah, but he's fighting the dragon with a sword. I mean, you could argue that he could be a dragon type because dragon type would be good against dragon type, but like, it just doesn't feel like the type matchup you choose for yourself, or one that's like particularly indicative of wielding a sword. Looks like there's one more Bigfoot to talk to, and yeah, she's something.
Come, my darling, let me take you away from all of this.
Can Vanuatu come too?
Vanuatu?
Vanuatu. The Bigfoot chief. The guy who just gave that speech.
What about him?
My husband.
Ah, crap.
Don't
Bleep.
sweat it, Junior. If I had a tree for every time a teenage Bigfoot's made a drunken pass at me, we surely wouldn't be in the mess we're in today.
Not really.
Now that I followed them.
Have you seen Bruno?
Bruno? Why, me and Mr. V have known little Bruno since he was knee-high to a pig.
It's very small.
The earth Bruno is. Nicest, most generous Bigfoot you'll ever meet. Dumb as a post, of course, but generous. Why, just the other day I was talking to my manicurist, Kimmy, and I said, Kimmy, that Bruno has got to be the dumbest creature to ever walk the surface of the planet. Then she had the nerve to say, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, I just said, oobada, oobada, oobada. Yada, yada, yada. Yib, yib, yib. So she said, wabada,
I
wabada,
think
wabada.
most
And
of the
I
things you
said,
say to her lead her to like
oobada,
loop like this.
Oobada, oobada, oobada.
So like I think you can just like let her go until you like click on something to advance the conversation or leave.
Oobada, oobada, oobada.
Have you seen
Oobada,
Trixie
oobada.
around here?
Trixie? Nice girl. Wonderful
Picture in
human
it.
being. Complete fashion victim, of course, but so pleasant. Just last week, I was talking to Katie, my color consultant, and
Mhm.
I said, Katie, that Trixie girl wouldn't know a burnoose from a sarong if her life depended on it.
That's true.
Then
I've said it for
she
years.
had the nerve to say, oogly, oogly, oogly.
Oogly, oogly,
Oogly,
oogly.
oogly, oogly. Bow, bow, bow. Yada, yada, yada.
I like that they appear to be fully randomly generated, so you can have them like back to back. Bow, bow, bow.
And I said,
You haven't seen Conroy Bumpus sneaking around, have you?
internationally renowned country western superstar Conroy Bumpus?
Sure.
I've got all his albums. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Can't say I agree.
I'd say he's the most gifted entertainer of the 20th century. He's an immoral cretin, of course, but boy, can he sing. I was talking to my chiropractor, Karen, just last month.
Karen.
And I said, Karen, that despicable Conroy Bumpus sure has got a pretty voice.
Uh-huh.
And then she said,
What'd she
blah,
say?
blah, blah.
Right?
Blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Yada, yada, yada. Wappada, wappada, wappada.
Wappada,
Bow,
wappada,
bow,
wappada.
bow. Yada, yada, yada.
I do, like, there's just something clever
Naturally,
about
I said, oobada, oobada, oobada.
this, like, subversion of
Yada, yada,
the
yada.
dialogue tree trope.
It must be a hoot being married to our commander-in-chief.
Oh, it's not that great. Sure, you get to travel, but sometimes you get so lonely. Why, just yesterday I was telling my therapist, Nancy, sometimes
Oh
it's
my
so lonely at
gosh.
the top. And then she said,
What'd she
yada,
say?
yada, yada.
Uh-huh.
Bow, bow, bow.
Bow, bow,
And
bow.
I said, yada, yada, yada.
What do you think about the pressing Bigfoot issues of the day?
God, I can't believe I lived long enough to hear you say that.
The answers
I like
were
that each
all
of them
there in
get
my
one.
husband's speech. Pull together. Embrace change. Avoid
Yikes
extinction.
forever.
And if that doesn't work, we'll eat all the humans.
Oh. I hadn't considered that. I like that that's also the only dialogue option that just ends there. Like, that one's too serious to, like, yada, yada, yada. Bow, bow, bow.
Adieu.
Don't be a stranger.
Let me just, okay.
Sorry, hon. Only Yeti elders are allowed in the pool area.
Adult Swim. I see how it is. Well, I see one more door back here. Is there anything else to check out? Guess we could look at the band.
I wonder
Oobada,
if they'll
oobada,
play
oobada. That's a great
Yellow
point,
River.
Nico.
I've learned the hard way never to talk to a band while they're jamming.
Can I talk to myself while we're stacked as one unit? It appears no. Can we talk to this group?
Darn.
One does not cut in on a Bigfoot.
I suppose we'll go through this door then and see what happens. Is this an inventory item? I sure would like an inventory item.
It's an ice pick.
It's mine now.
It's a freezer.
Seems to be functioning. Seems like it's cold in there. Can't seem to walk through this door. What if we use it?
Yikes! Well, 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 a Bigfoot.
Sure is a scrawny feller.
A Bigfoot in the hand is worth two in the bush, Lee Harvey.
Sorry, boss.
Think nothing of it, old chap. Now, be a good lad and pop off to the bus and get the net.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bumpus.
So I think, a second. We do a new save. At stun point. Get it? See what I did there? He's got like a cattle prod sort of thing.
Don't make a move.
Pretty sure like basically
Don't make a move.
anything we try to do right now
Don't make a move.
results in him saying don't make a move. And it's not as though time passes. So let's talk to him and of course lead with
I'd
Doc.
probably feel more threatened if I wasn't so hungry.
You'll be well fed in my menagerie.
Oh, that's reassuring.
Why do you persecute harmless Bigfoots?
Harmless? Harmless? I'll have you know my parents were killed by a rabid Bigfoot.
Really?
Well, no. Actually,
No,
I'm
it
just a
doesn't-
warped, evil person who gets his jollies torturing cute woodland creatures.
Oh, that seems more
Well, that's a
plausible.
valid motivation too.
Would have called it two in the bush. I think that violates Twitch terms of service or something. I don't
Where'd
know.
you get that British accent anyway?
I'm originally from Liverpool, twit. You.
Has there ever been a British person who became a country western singer? I feel like somehow that offends the sensibilities of like both of those arenas.
Where'd you get the extra toupee?
I'm only gonna say this once, so listen closely. I don't wear a toupee.
But I'm currently wearing one of your toupees.
Look behind you, the three-headed monkey.
Nice try.
I've played that game before.
I'm not really a Bigfoot, you know.
Pull the other one.
You'll never get away with this.
Ooh, I'm so scared.
So half-hearted. Well, it's something of a clue that the we get a dialogue for our costume. And it's supposed to be proof that we're not a Bigfoot.
Don't make a move.
Is it on myself?
Don't make a move.
Thought I just... No, I do kind of need the other guy to be here,
Don't make
right?
a move.
What do I need to do to make the next stage of this happen? Is it like use self?
Don't make a move. Don't make a move. Don't make a move.
I know that I need to prove to him that I'm not a Bigfoot, and I don't think I do that via dialogue. And I know that there's a scene that happens that involves his cohort. Use Max? I don't think it's use Max.
I'd probably feel more threatened if I wasn't so hungry.
You'll be well fed in my menagerie.
Really? I'm not a Bigfoot.
Prove it.
No, I need to have him
You'll
say
never get
prove
away
it
with
first?
Ooh,
That's a
I'm
little
so
awkward.
Scared. Don't make a move.
Yeah, we can try throwing Max. I don't think that's it. I think it's supposed to be with the
Don't
costume.
make a move. Don't make a move.
Is it use...
Maybe this will convince you that I'm not a
No,
Bigfoot.
you have to use costume from inventory. Even though, like, nothing else in the game works that way.
You again?
I left the net back in Bumpusville.
Forget the net. We're gonna disguise ourselves as a Bigfoot.
Why?
So we can infiltrate their ranks, learn their ways, and pick them off at our leisure.
Oh.
And no funny stuff, dog boy.
Yeah. How come hey,
I wouldn't move if I were you.
yeah.
Hey, Max, why don't you make yourself useful?
Probably should have let him talk for a minute. I forgot they had dialogue there.
Now future generations will be able to enjoy his atonal warblings.
Are there any more shrimp balls back here? Who are you?
We're the freelance police.
We just saved your collective hash.
Really? Then I guess it'd be okay to make you honorary Yeti chiefs.
I'm glad we
Walk
didn't have
this
to prove
way.
that.
Can I have your attention, please?
It's somewhat effective!
It is somewhat effective. He has an elemental weakness to ice.
It's our tradition to allow only Bigfoots and their dates to these gatherings. These two have shown themselves worthy of our gratitude and our trust.
These are a naive people.
And so I'm granting them the title of Honorary Bigfoot Chief. So don't mess with them.
That's it? Honorary Bigfoot Chief? Where's the cash?
We don't want Bigfoot money, Max. It's probably made of tree bark or something.
I know, but it's the principle of the thing.
You may now wander freely about the convention floor without concern for your health.
Gee, thanks.
Think nothing of it. Follow me.
I'm not sure I've ever gone back to talk to people once you're out of the Bigfoot disguise. I wonder if people have different things to say.
Since you have proven yourselves to be friends of the Yeti, I have brought you here to share in our biggest secret. These great totem poles have been gathered from across the world and passed down from generation to generation of Bigfoots.
Like fruitcake.
We believe they hold the answer to our ultimate salvation, but the secret of their purpose is a riddle we've been unable to fathom.
Sounds heavy.
Like fruitcake.
It's real heavy.
Bruno.
Like fruitcake.
Why aren't you
Doesn't
at the
work the
party?
third time.
Who can party while their world comes to an end?
Most of your
Lots of people.
mange-ridden brethren, apparently.
That too.
I told you it was a bad idea to spike the punch.
I thought it would loosen up everyone's imagination.
No wonder we're facing extinction. Okay, guys, here's the situation. The Bigfoot way of life is rapidly going down the tubes. These totem poles might be able to save us, but A, we don't know what they mean.
That's tough.
B, most of us have been partying too much to figure out what they mean.
Also tough.
C, we Bigfoots have a hard time operating in public, if you know what I mean.
We wouldn't normally be asking for help, but we're desperate.
Well, that's how we get most of our gigs, so why not?
Great. Why don't you three get cracking on the totem poles? I'm going to the hot tub.
Now, believe it or not, these totem poles are effectively the final boss of this game. Let's take a closer look at them, and give you an opportunity to see if you can figure out their arcane meanings.
Yep, that's Bruno, the veritable holy grail of our mission.
And I can look at them, it just didn't like that hitbox, I guess.
Looks like a before and after shot. A patron saint of Bigfoots?
I think you talk to the chief and he gives you a slightly more comprehensive view of what these things are.
Dentistry? What is this, some kind of tornado?
Let's talk to Bruno, though. I haven't seen him in a minute.
Okay, Sam, he's here, we're here. Let's go.
Wait, go where?
Back to the carnival so we can get paid, you big lummox.
I may be slow, but I am not stupid. I am staying right here.
What if I asked real nice?
What?
Maybe we should wait a while before returning Bruno to his well-meaning yet horribly twisted owners.
Why?
Because I have a sick, gnarled premonition that something important's going to happen to the Bigfoots, and it would be nice if Bruno were here to see it before we slapped him back in a block of ice.
You're getting soft, Sam.
We've decided to let you roam free until the end of the convention.
Gee, thanks. Is there anything I can do for you in return?
I mean, not eat us, I guess, seems like the equivalent thing to do. I don't know if Bigfoots eat people.
I still can't figure out how a Whittier-Bane Bigfoot like yourself fell into the clutches of the Cushmans.
It's a familiar story. Bigfoot meets fish.
Yep.
Bigfoot tries to catch fish.
Right.
Bigfoot falls into Arctic ice flow.
Yeah, it does happen.
That's a classic, all right. What's caused this big crisis you and the chief keep rattling on about?
Trees.
What's wrong with the trees?
Thought it was video games.
Are they succumbing to outdated Marxist dogma?
No, there aren't enough of them. Bigfoots need trees to hide behind. Without trees, we're easily hunted, captured, and put on display by thoughtless humans.
Sam, I think I'm feeling my very first pang of guilt in the... Nope, it's gone. False
That's a
alarm.
relief. I was concerned about that for a moment. Let's ask him about these totem poles. Neko suggests throw celebrity vegetable at Medusa, pour vegetables on man, feed hand to dinosaur, and imprison hand in the Shadow Realm. That's about the size of it.
What do you make of that totem pole on the far left?
Let me take a look.
Forgot they have him wander over and look at it for some reason.
Well?
It's a totem pole.
And?
It's made of wood.
So
It's
helpful.
not too late to take him back to the carnival, you know.
Did you say the same thing for all of them?
Insights into the totem pole with a tooth on it?
I've been staring at that one for hours, and...
Yes?
I think it has something to do with teeth.
Got me there.
I'm not holding my breath, but do you have any clue who the guy in the third totem pole is?
Nope. He sure seems to get along with vegetables, though.
Sam, the guy in that pole's got a marshmallow.
He does for some reason.
I want a marshmallow.
Max,
That's an
you
excellent
are a
point.
marshmallow. See that totem pole?
What about it?
What do you think it means?
I've got it.
What did you tell them?
I told them to start looking for bald guys with spaghetti on their heads.
That seems like as good a guess as any.
So what do you think about all this?
I'm just happy to be here, Sam. Happy to be at room temperature and happy to be free at last.
Born free as the wind blows.
Max,
What?
what were you saying, Bruno?
I lost my thought.
Darn.
How'd you and Trixie meet, anyway?
We didn't really meet until she thawed me out. But I've loved her ever since that first night she snuck into the freak tent and sang me to sleep with a Scrantonese lullaby.
Can you replicate it?
And you want to put him back in a block of ice?
Yeah. So?
I give up. Well, now that Conroy's out of your hair, what are you going to do?
Try brushing it, maybe?
Well, I've still got the Cushmans to worry about, so I guess I'm still a little tense.
Be seeing you.
Not if I see you first.
Yeah, you're not really on good terms with Bruno at mostly any point in the game, which is kind of interesting. But it makes sense since, you know, you're kind of working against his wishes. Stand still. I intend to speak to you. Or at you.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Vanuatu.
Vanuatu who?
Vanuatu, stop clowning around and help us save the Bigfoots? What do you make of the first totem pole?
As you know, this is a problem that I've been working on for many years. Research strongly
got him,
suggests
Demolition.
this totem pole to be representative of the whirlwind nature of us Bigfoots. Wild and always moving.
What's your take on the second totem pole?
I'm glad you asked. You see, I believe that it represents the sharp edge of ancient history, the fantastic staying power of the Yeti people over the millennia.
These guesses don't seem highly actionable, is my main concern with his theories.
How does the third pole figure into the scheme of things?
Let me be very clear. That pole constitutes the harmony from the coexistence of two similar beings, a harmony that springs from mutual respect and understanding.
I like that he prefaces that one with "let me be clear," as if he has like a really hot take on it.
What does the fourth totem pole represent?
I'm asked that very question all the time. My answer, rapid growth.
Oh, that one's more succinct.
What can you tell us about Bruno?
Is it me, or does it feel as if we've asked just about everybody in the country about Bruno?
Ah, Bruno. full of vim and vigor, ready to take on the world. It reminds me of when I was his age.
Ocean says he's looking forward to the springtime emote. I'm looking forward to unveiling the last seasonal emote as well. It's not too far off now. I think I have scheduled dates that are all 3 months apart. I think it's the start of March is when that finally gets revealed. I'm gonna defer to past Vasco's math on that one.
What do you think about Trixie?
She's such a sweet girl, and very representative of the open-mindedness of our Yeti leadership. We're very proud of that.
What's your official stance on Conroy Bumpus?
Conroy Bumpus is a threat to the American way of life.
That's true.
It has been and continues to be of highest importance that we rid ourselves of this most negative influence on the young people of our brave new world. The missus and I sure like his music, though.
Now that's a hot
He'll
take.
be back.
I'll be here.
I feel like that's the one to preface with, I'm going to be quite clear. So, we've got 4 totem poles. We have hand in a tornado. We have dentistry of sorts. We have marshmallow roasting on a vegetable fire. And we have bald man with spaghetti on his head. So, there's different ways we could do this, I guess. Might be most fun to do them in order. I feel like the second one is probably the most straightforward. So let's work on this leftmost totem pole. Where have we seen a tornado-like swelling of energy, would you say? Let you ponder that while I go back inside and see if there's anything new to discuss with the Bigfoot people in there. I know I'm slowing the pace of the game down a little bit. We honestly don't have too much left to go, and I am actually curious because I don't remember if I've talked to them outside of Disguise and whether much changes there.
Mrs. V?
Yes?
I wish my hair was more like yours. I can't do a thing with mine.
That's why he always wears a hat.
You should talk to my hair care
I'm tagged and I don't like it.
Janet. She does marvelous work. Why, just last autumn, she was soaking my head and I said, Janet, you're just about the best hair care specialist I've ever known.
And then what did she
say? She had the nerve to say, yada yada yada. Yada yada yada.
Yada yada yada.
Yada yada yada.
Oh, we got the
What's your take
trifecta
on that tornado totem pole?
Well, my husband thinks it's some sort of homage to the wild and woolly nature of us Bigfoots. But if you ask me, I think it's an indictment of people who don't wash their hands before dinner.
I'm with her on this
when
one.
We had our niece, Jay, over for dinner, and I said, Jay, don't you touch that bread until you wash the ichor off your fur. And then she said,
the correct pronunciation of ichor.
Oogly, oogly, oogly. Bow, bow, bow.
Oogly,
Why does that
oogly,
totem have a big tooth on it?
Well, hon, some Bigfoots would have you believe that it's a symbol of power or some such. But if you want my opinion...
And I can't imagine why we would.
I think that pole represents the importance of visiting your dentist regularly.
That definitely seems like it will
When I woke up this morning,
correct
I thought
the
I'd
fate of
just
the
watch some
Bigfoots.
TV and shoot some criminals. Now a big stinky forest creature is giving me a lecture on dental hygiene.
I'm not joking, Bunny. Why do you think all those dinosaurs died out anyway?
To impress the babes?
Gingivitis.
No, it was tooth decay.
Who's the guy with a hat on the third totem pole?
I thought he was you.
I don't think so.
Then I'm at a loss.
That's good. I like that answer.
Have you given any thought to the totem pole with the 2 heads on it?
Well, hon, it's either a visualization of our sun god's development and growth, or an ancient advertisement for an herbal mixture for balding Bigfoots.
Bald Bigfoots?
Ew.
I think most of these other subjects we've already discussed.
Don't be a stranger.
I don't think they will change. She'll just say that she likes Conroy Bumpus' music and that Bruno's kind of dim but nice or something. Do you care at all that I'm not a Bigfoot?
There is no try. There's only do or donut.
What are you talking about?
I was
Do
hoping
or
you'd tell
donut?
me.
What do you want?
Starting to second guess this plan of asking everyone about the totem poles. I imagine that if you ask every single Bigfoot about the totem poles, even if you don't really have an idea of where to start looking for solutions to them, you'll get some pretty straightforward clues. But you'll also get like a lot of nonsense. Ask everyone about Bruno instead. I don't know, I've heard we shouldn't talk about Bruno.
Bruno's out by the pool.
Wonderful. He must have convinced our alien forefathers to rescue us from this doomed planet.
Actually,
Nah.
I think he's doing the backstroke. Has Trixie brought back any news from the aliens?
Not directly, but they've obviously given her some singing lessons.
I like his weird little nod animation.
Are you the abominable, the boy in a bubble, a berry? Never mind.
That's not very funny, Rover.
Ah, got countered.
Gotta go.
He says, "Oh yeah, Vasco, you broke the one rule about Bruno and talked about him with literally everyone." Well, you gotta keep in mind that this game predates the rule. I mean, it's possible this game created the rule in some respect.
Mr. Omnivore.
Huh?
Bruno's out by the pool.
Right. I'll go talk to him after I'm done eating.
That might take longer than the rest of this game.
What do you think of Trixie singing?
It's the Ginshies.
Oh no, that
Gotta
reference
go.
goes over my head.
Mahalo,
A
dude.
rarity.
I don't indiscriminately use people, except Max.
Why am I not leaving? Please go to door. So we must once again embark on the world, after using some of the wonkiest hitboxes in the game to get ourselves outside. As I said, might be interesting to go through those totem poles in sequence. Max is sort of standing on the hitbox for my DeSoto. There we go, I'll use the far end. So, believe it or not, the next place to go is to the world's largest ball of twine. Let's take a moment to consider why that is. So, the first totem pole is a hand surrounded by swirling energy. We know of one such place, and it's the vortex chamber inside the mystery spot. Now, we've been inside that machine, and what happens is, if you take out the snow globe, it fills up with some of that mysterious mystery spot energy, but then once your duration inside the magical mystical tube is over, all the energy flows right back out. And that's because our snow globe has a hole in the bottom. We gotta plug that hole in. In order to do that, we'll need something like, perhaps a cork? But the closest thing we have to a corkscrew to get that cork out is this regular screwdriver.
I don't think the ice pick will remove the cork.
And there's our problem. And those of you in chat who know more about opening a bottle of wine than I do might realize that the thing we need is a corkscrew, because that is traditionally what you use. And we happen to know someone who is able to rearrange the shape of certain tools with his mind. He's also perhaps the least interesting character in this game, even
Take a leg,
including
Max.
Conroy Bumpus. Just use Max's teeth. It does feel, Max's teeth are kind of equivalent to knife in that, like, using Max on everything seems like it basically should be a solution for all problems. Hey, guy who's definitely not my friend.
Could you bend this?
Sure. Let's see it.
It's weird that the handle changed colors for the
How's
purpose
that?
of just this cutscene.
Great.
Also kind of weird that This character exists solely to give you a bent wrench as a clue to later on bend something else. It's just... he's an extremely weird character in an admittedly already quite weird game. But now that my screwdriver is corkscrew driver...
That seems to have gotten the cork off.
Shall we raise a toast to nuclear disarmament?
With this poison? Don't be silly.
I think you just throw away the bottle. It was a bad year after all.
Cork.
Remember what he did before? He just has a box of wrenches and he bends them with his mind. And if you talk to him, he's like, do you want a free wrench? And you're like, yeah. And then you use it to solve a puzzle.
That seems to have capped the snow globe.
So now, we've got ourselves a snow globe with a stopper. All we gotta do is fill it with mystical vortex energy, and then Bob's your uncle. Like all good adventure games, there's some items that have only like one really esoteric use, and that's sort of what, as I described it, the final boss of this game is, the 4 totem poles. Nico says, you know, she actually does have an Uncle Bob. Well, there you go. Bob's your uncle. So now we must return to the mystery spot in order to obtain said mystical energies. Luckily, we spent an inordinate amount of time there last week, so we know the precise room that we need to be in. It seems like it would be really horrible and disorienting to walk through a space where your body dimensions just change in this fashion. I feel like it would hurt your bones. So I should probably get this item in hand to make my life a little bit easier in a minute.
Can we try the vortex?
Step right in.
I like that it's like hotel concierge bell powered. Or activated might be the more appropriate term.
Wow, the snow globe actually sucked in the pseudo-mystical energies of the mystery vortex.
I was hoping something like that would happen.
Me too, buddy. I actually don't recall this. Once you've absorbed that energy, are you allowed to go back in?
Can we try the vortex?
Step right in.
I wasn't sure if it was meant to imply that you taking that bit of energy, like, finally breaks the vortex. They sort of established earlier when you talked to the characters that, like, they stopped selling the snow globes because it was, like, draining the vortex little by little. But I guess it's not enough to break it, so we didn't even do anything wrong, really. It's like a little bit of vortex as a treat, really.
Neat.
I just think it's interesting to confirm things like that in the world. You never know, especially with a game like this. I'm very excited. When we get to the Telltale Sam & Max games, there's some good bits of, like, interreferencing between the various installments of the game. Oh yeah, this is the one screen that, like, doesn't like to move at all for no reason. Even if we do them one at a time, it might actually make more sense to go out into the world and do them all together. Actually, yeah, let's do that. It'll save us a little bit of time. So, second up is the dentistry totem. Will Max remember everything when you get to that? How do you... Oh, like, because he says he doesn't have a memory? I mean, you know, we'll see when we get there exactly who remembers what. So, there's one place I said we had some unfinished business, and it happens to be a dinosaur much like the one depicted in the second totem. I'm not entirely sure if I remember the correct order of operations to trigger this thing. But in order to solve this puzzle, you have to think like a 1990s game developer. If I wanted to extract a tooth from a character of some sort, how would I go about doing it? Well, I would use the weird antiquated stereotype from like old TV shows and movies where like someone has a loose tooth and they're trying to get rid of it and they wrap a string around it and then close the door really quickly. So keeping that in mind, remember the fact that we got like 90 feet of twine from the world's largest ball of twine? I think I actually need to time this such that the dinosaur's mouth is open. I might be wrong about that.
That's a good idea, but there's nothing for the twine to catch on.
Hi.
That was informative.
Now his mouth's open. Don't you love how adventure game characters just know how to make lassos out of rope?
It's 91 yards of string tied to a dinosaur's tooth. I can't take it anywhere. I haven't got enough leverage from here to pull out a tooth. This is a completely unusable thingamabob. I'm filled with disgust and an odd sense of foreboding.
And?
I'm not sure what to make of that toothy totem pole.
I think it's a graven idol for tooth fairy worshippers.
What do you think that swirly totem pole means?
I think it represents a primordial washing machine.
It's interesting how, maybe because it's like the sort of final boss for the game, the hints are various, but extremely subtle and unhelpful. I know that I need to get the string attached to the car, and that's how I get the leverage to do this. I don't remember what fashion the game wants me to do that, since it doesn't like me picking up the rope.
I can't take it anywhere. I haven't got enough leverage from here to pull out a tooth.
Use Max with it? Tie a ribbon around him and just hurl him at the car. Feels like there was a more straightforward way to do it, but that was probably the best way to do it.
We finally got the tooth.
The whole tooth?
Nothing but.
Everything about that exchange is so 90s. Down to the 90s movie reference, and starting with the extremely 90s puzzle construction. So, we got ourselves a magical snow globe. We have ourselves an artifact of dentistry. Now, the third thing on our list, we actually already possess. It is a man at harmony with vegetables. It's famed naturalist John Muir, as a vegetable. Now, this begs the question in my mind of, how long have these totem poles been around, and how essential are they to the fate of all big feet? It's just sort of a peculiar timing I can't wrap my head around. And then, believe it or not, we actually also have the fourth item in our possession, and it is, simply, this pillow with miracle hair grow goo on it. It is a mystical substance that will make a bald man have spaghetti hair, more or less. So we're actually in perfect shape to go hand off these puzzle items and then see what the fate of the Bigfoot clan will be. I feel like there's a weird background instrument that wasn't here when we first came through in the Bigfoot costume, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention to it. That's what that is. I thought it was snot. I mean, I feel like the game has him say what it is when you look at it, like, before and after you pick it up. But yeah, just looking at it, it's not the clearest thing in the world. But we took the pillow from Conroy Bumpus's weird monster truck bed, and it has his hair grow goo on it because he's clearly very sensitive about his hair.
I think I figured out one of the totem poles. Let me see.
Time to perform a Bigfoot ritual. Seems to like that. And he's cracked it like an egg. A lot of care went into that animation.
A handheld vortex. Good thinking.
Thinking had nothing to do with it.
That's true. This game is kind of a lot of trial and error if you're not on the wavelength of a 90s video game designer. Let's give this guy the tooth, the whole tooth, and, you know, that whole jazz.
Hey, Chiefy Poo. I think I figured out one of those baffling totem poles.
Now, considering that this is an artificial dinosaur tooth, it's also hard to imagine that that would have been part of the ritual.
Dinosaur tooth. I figured it might be something like that.
Did he say genuine?
I believe we've deduced the secret of one of your totem poles.
Hit me.
We didn't hit him with the vegetable, curiously. There's not a lot of scene work you can do with just a vegetable, huh?
Man and nature. Inventive.
Is it soup yet?
It's rapidly approaching it if it's not already. Obviously, I have to walk away and come back to hand him the pillow.
We found something that might tie into your totem poles.
Yeah? What is it? Hair growth tonic. Very resourceful.
We just like stealing pillows.
Well, that should do it, right?
We do like stealing pillows.
Nothing's happening, Sam.
What's the story, Pops?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure you got the ingredients right, but... Of course. How silly of me.
What?
In order for the spell to work, we need a living Bigfoot sacrifice.
It'd be a shame to lose one of these furry fellas, don't you think?
Wait, I've got an idea, and it doesn't require high explosives. Wait here.
While he's gone, I'll go see if any of the Bigfoots wants to off themselves for the greater good.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well ask. It'd be rude not to. This first wiggle dance was best. I think I agree with you, Neko. I think I like that first one best. I mean, considering we cut some corners on multiple ingredients there, I feel like this is appropriate. It's a better twist ending than Raincoat. Shouldn't come as a surprise that there's a vortex element to this whole situation, considering we put an entire miniature mystery vortex in there. There's that San Francisco influence referenced earlier. Everything had a better twist ending than Raincoat. Yeah, even stuff that doesn't have a twist or an ending, right, Castle? I appreciate that the nature of this game using a map of the United States to navigate ties into the end.
Highly destructive to boot.
Goodbye, Sam and Max. I'm not sure how I could ever thank you, so I guess I won't.
Will you and Trixie be heading back into the forest to live an idyllic, nature-oriented existence together?
Hell no. We're going to Vegas to get hitched. If it hasn't been trashed by all this crazy redwood nonsense.
We want
Like
to
you
be a
wanted
place where we
this.
can sort of blend in, live our lives, maybe even raise a family.
Ew.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, you nutsy primitive man-beast, you.
You boys should be proud of what you've helped us achieve here today.
You mean the wholesale destruction of the symbols of modern civilization in the western United States? You
Yeah.
bet we are.
Do we win a prize?
Well, oh, why not? This medallion has been a part of my family for untold generations. Wear it in good health.
Thanks, Chief. Max loves cheap sentiment.
I love that Max just quietly unwraps
Oh,
it.
lovely chocolatey goodness. What's wrong, Sam?
I don't think the wizard has anything in that bag for me.
Well, I could give you my ritual headdress that I bought at Snucky's last week.
I appreciate the gesture, but I've already got a hat.
Well, that's fine too. Farewell, Sam and Max. Remember, though the night be dark, the dawn yet shall awaken and annoy you. Have a nice day.
I'll miss that old rascal.
I'll miss the way he smelled like a bag full of damp hamster shavings. Just like Grandpa. Hey, we forgot to get paid.
Don't worry, little buddy. I've got it all covered.
I hope you're happy. With those idiots on the case, we'll probably never see Bruno again.
Oh, lighten up, Burl. Hey, they're back.
True words have never been spoken by a Sasquatch. I think you're right about that.
Bruno?
Of course.
Bruno!
How can we ever repay you?
It's definitely the same
blank looks on
Bigfoot.
your faces are the only reward we need.
That and a big fat check.
Would you settle for 3,000 skee-ball tickets?
Close enough. Let's go, Max. You know, Max, I can't help thinking that we foolishly tampered with the fragile inner mechanisms of this little spaceship we call Earth.
Gosh, Sam, if a few hundred years of civilization have to be totaled just to ensure that a bunch of smelly quasi-human creatures have a safe haven for their disgusting lifestyles, then so be it.
You crack me up, little buddy.
Burl, did Bruno always have 4 arms?
We did it, everyone! And look, the credits are a functional shooting gallery. It's probably a little too loud, frankly. I don't remember if this keeps score. There are games I know that, like, keep track of your score doing it. I mean, like, Smash Bros. Games have them. At least some of them do. More recent ones, anyway. Wizard ending is reminding you of something. Is it rain code? I hope it's not rain code. We have loot nature, reclaim it land. Yeah. We have to give what was taken or something. Day of the Tentacle. Oh yeah, we got some purple tentacle targets. We got some R2D2 targets. We have some sort of monster with skulls coming off him that I definitely can't immediately identify. But yeah, this is Sam and Max Hit the Road. It's a little short when you know what you're doing, but that is frankly true of all adventure games. It's one of the weird quirks of the genre. If you've never played it before... Oh my god, is that Bubsy? I didn't remember Bubsy being here. That's really wild, if true. But yeah, like, if you don't know what you're doing, an adventure game will take you, I don't know, depending on the size of the studio and whatnot, you know, maybe a few hours to, like, some of them can be, like, 30, 40 hours. Pretty easy. But if you know what you're doing, like, you can often complete those games in, like, an hour and a half. But yeah, I mean, like, it really is hard for me to articulate all the things that I like about Sam and Max as characters and protagonists in this game. I think they're such excellent protagonists for adventure games, like, genuinely, because they're kind of sociopaths. And, you know, I've made this joke a lot about, like, how frequently in adventure games you have to do things that are, like, kind of morally gray or even just, like, outright kind of despicable. And, like, somehow Sam and Max always come off as, like, the good guys, no matter how, like, cagey their activities are. You know, like, they do whatever they want, but at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, they're doing the right thing, or at least they're not bothered by the consequences, and so I won't be either. But, you know, they have a great dynamic between the two of them, and that's something that carries over into the Telltale games as well, and other things like the animated series. The credits say I can stop now. No, really. I don't really remember the termination of the credits. It's over. It's over! We're leaving. Is that really the end, or does it fade back in? I want to say it fades back in. Okay, so we lied. Nothing can be earnest in Sam and Max. Everything is a joke. I think this is something I've regrettably carried with me into my adult years. Nothing ever serious. Only irreverence. And violence. I don't actually know if anything else happens or can happen. Or if, unlike many other DOS games, this is now just how this works. It's me, Big Vasco. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's so hard for me to talk about this game without, like, just letting it speak for itself, which is why I've tried so hard to do that to this point. But, like, I just love these characters. I've spent a lot of time playing this game in particular. Really looking forward to flashing ahead, like, basically a decade to play the Telltale games. I can't tell you how big a deal it was to me for there to be new Sam and Max adventure games when they came out in the early 2000s. I mean, like, keeping in mind how, like, formative this game was to my childhood. Then, like, this company that had never existed before, Telltale's like, yeah, we bought the license to do Sam and Max because we wanted to do a Sam and Max game. And, you know, like, the history of Sam and Max includes a Sam and Max 2, which, like, I think, like, just got canceled in pre-production, and, like, people have found, like, notes about the story and some art assets or something. It was, like, supposed to take them to, like, a space station or something like that. And, like, somewhere along the line when that funding fell through, then, like, the intellectual property rights were up for grabs. And that's when Telltale bought them and created a whole new game studio to make an adventure game. Not their traditional Walking Dead model of game, because those came along later. Sam & Max was the first game that company released. And, still probably my favorite. I haven't played every single Telltale game. Some of them were, like, properties I wasn't familiar with. Like, frankly, a lot of them came out during the period of time where I had, like, the least discretionary income of my entire life. So, like, that was a factor. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Back to the Future games. We played those on the Renegade Constabulary channel because I wanted Tech to experience those. They're not perfect, but I think they're quite good. I like them a lot. I think they're also really true to the characters, which is, like, a kind of a tall order with such beloved characters like that. I mean, as much as I love Sam and Max, not everyone knows them, so you kind of have some leeway there to, like, make them fit what you need in certain places, but, like, Doc Brown and Marty McFly, like, those are some big shoes to fill. Considering that nothing has changed on the credits, I think it's probably okay to go ahead and calm that down. Yeah, feel free to let me know any quotes you think are worth grabbing from this game. I wrote down a couple after last week's stream. I don't know if I got all the ones people had mentioned or whatever. Try to set aside some time to do that. I don't know when. I've been extremely bad at time management lately. Been struggling with some depression this week in particular. It hasn't been a good time. But on that note, I am very much looking forward to Telltale Sam and Max, and at the very least, I will figure out how to get that running by next week's stream. For now, I think I'm probably going to call this for the recording, and then maybe we'll just play some little bit of Cobalt Core to finish off that run we started before picking up the retro games. Or if people are more interested in it, we can troubleshoot Sam and Max and make sure that's ready for next week. But we'll figure that out. I don't think it's necessarily going to be something that gets posted to YouTube in either case. So we'll call the recording here. Is there anything else I really want to say about this? I mean, I think the game really speaks a lot for itself. I like it. There's just so many clever things about it. Like, I like how it plays into the weird Americana angle. I like that the world map is the sort of postcard style tourist trap plot of the United States. Like, I don't know, there's just so many things I love about it. The characters are great. The dialogue is funny in a really unique and irreverent way. Not every joke lands, but like it's exactly my style of humor of just like being sarcastic until you find just the right way that it hits and you get them with it. So like, again, I feel like this game had a lot of influence on me and my sense of humor, even though I often say things like I was kind of like raised by television or like a student of television and have always studied sort of sitcoms and things for like cadence and styles of jokes and things. So like I've sort of by osmosis absorbed a lot of humor. I feel like Sam and Max Hit the Road is like a real anchor for a lot of that. But yeah, so I'm gonna give you all a moment to see if you can figure out where a Squirtle is hiding, because somewhere on the couch behind me I've hidden a secret Squirtle. If you're able to locate a Squirtle in this fashion, it will of course be an omen of luck for you in the coming days. Note that if you can see a Squirtle like this big guy, he's kind of hiding, but you can see him over there. That one's not a secret because he's hanging out in plain sight. But somewhere under or behind or perhaps even inside of one of these many plush friends making the background of my scene, you might find a Squirtle. And again, it'll bring you good luck. And if you're like me, you might need it. Okay, so it says, ran Sam and Max easily a few years ago. Just to clarify, I say things like get it running for stream like a lot when I talk about a new game. And it's almost never actually getting the game to run. It's very rare that the case is literally trying to make the game run. It's that I've been streaming for long enough that I can't tell you how important it is to test the game and its settings before you record it. Because it just sucks to do it live. You just don't want to do it if you don't have a reason to do it. It just sucks. Like, it's so hard to, like, get those settings correct. And then, like, sometimes there's, like, a nuance to, like... And it's more the case with older games where, like, just some, like, weird outlier things. But, like, there are games that just, like, they don't like to capture in OBS in a certain way, and you kind of just have to, like, mess around with different, like, do you want windows, do you want full screen, whatever. It's like, I don't want to have to do that live. I want to be able to start the stream and, like, have it work and make it look like I know what I'm doing. Everyone has to go through this at some point, whether it's on or off stream. So it's, like, not actually an indicator that, like, you don't know what you're doing. But, like, it's the illusion of professionalism that clearly draws in the double digits of people who come to these streams. By which I mean, thank you for watching, and I really do my best to make it something you want to watch, which is why I try to have those things set up in advance. And, you know, it's really difficult to balance the audio, so I do ask for input on that, but, you know, that's mostly just to tweak it from... Usually I think I have it pretty close by the time we start to exactly what we want. And then it almost always needs to be adjusted a little bit in post anyway when I put it up to YouTube. But, I mean, the remasters came out not that long ago, so I'm pretty sure they'll run well. It's just a matter of all the other nuanced stuff that's just not very interesting. Get a closer look at King Carlos. I mean, King Georgius. Yeah, well, I promised a good look at him earlier. Could stream Superman 64. Demolition would be here. Joke's on you, I now own Superman 64. I won it in a weird raffle in an online contest like 6 years ago. Never played it, know what it's like roughly, but I do own it. I don't think I actually still have many guesses. Where we got guesses? So we got King Crab guess. Behind a treat holding friend. There's like 3 of those, Neko. Which one? Is it hot chocolate? Is it ice cream? Or is it donut? These are important questions that the world wants to know. Tweeting that stream on April 1st. That sounds like more work that I'm willing to put in. I haven't... Like, last year's April Fool's stream was something I had conceptualized years ago. And it took like an incredibly long time to get Return to the Past working. And when I finally did, I was like, I need it to work by April Fool's. And so we did that. Under Octo Hat. Alright, let's go take a look. Let's start with Octo Hat because I'm concerned about knocking over those Drifloons, and so I'll just get it out of the way. Here's our friend Octo Hat. He's large enough that he could be a hat. He's also large enough to contain multitudes, or in this case, a little gingerbread man. Take a look at some of our Valentine treat friends. Over here, a little bit out of frame, is our classic donut dragon, who was hanging out with our donut cat. They're such good friends. Such donut friends. Hiding underneath our newest Valentine treat friend, Big Ice Cream Cow, Moo, is a winter Squirtle. And underneath our hot chocolate pterodactyl friend. I feel like whoever conceived of hot chocolate pterodactyl like really needs a raise. Like that person's doing some good creative work. Oh my gosh, it's another Squirtle. And of course, we've had multiple people expressing interest, and at least one person guessing perhaps there's a Squirtle hanging out with our newest crustacean pal. Got our classic Bloody Carlos, who's also a Valentine's Day friend, because the Valentine's Day Squishmallows are exclusively the best ones. We've got our crab friend King George's. And wouldn't you know it, yeah, there's a Squirtle back there too. Got some good guesses. Like I said not that long ago, I started hiding multiple Squirtles, and you'll never know if you found them all. But we found plenty today. Kind of. I don't know. But I wanted to get a close look at this gentleman. Focus. What a good little guy. I mean, first off, King Crab, love the crown. Second, powerful mustache. Third, as I mentioned before, heart-shaped monocle. And of course, he's got crab feet. Crab feet are very good. And he has just little tiny pincher mittens. It's like, if you compare to Pirate Crab, I mean, she's a little big, right? But she has much bigger claws. Carlos is like pretty George's sized. And like Carlos also has bigger claws. Distinguished little gentleman with his tiny claws. And for those of you who don't collect like a horrifying quantity of Squishmallows, much like Beanie Babies of old, their tags have like little personality things to them. Not all of them. Some of the like crossover IPs like Disney ones don't. But like the ones they make themselves do. I don't normally read these out, but A, we have a little bit of extra time, and B, I just love this because of all the ones I've ever read, this one is most like me. So is Georgios, Georgios. It's very hard to pronounce. We can call him King George or something. It's probably easier. Georgios watches good movies and bad movies with the same enthusiasm. He has a rule to finish every movie he starts, even when he feels it's not his speed. Georgios thinks bad movies can be fun in a different way since he learns a lot about storytelling. Meet Georgios tonight at the theater to check out the new flick. I mean, could there be like a more Vasco description of an animal who is also a pun because he is a crab who is a king with a crown on him? Like, he's just very good. What a perfect little guy. He's just like it's like a 10 out of 10. That's literally you. Well, that explains a lot, Demolition, because you're here and you watch like 70 hours of Rain Code. But also, it's like the same reason I started Rain Code and finished it. It's just like, because like halfway through, a lot of people are like, why are you playing this? And it's like, you don't understand. I started playing it. Now we're here. You could say his favorite movies offer an alternative to quality. Well, he doesn't necessarily prefer the bad movies to the good ones. He just likes all of them. And I specifically, like, it's like the whole tradition with my family watching the Hallmark movies, which we talk about sometimes. And in fact, a little bit earlier tonight. It's just that, like, I love watching all the Hallmark movies. It's not because all the Hallmark movies are the best movies I've ever seen. I can't stress enough that that's not true. But, like, I've always liked bad movies because you learn something about storytelling, exactly like it's written in King George's tag there. So, like, that's just, like, the perfect sentiment. But, like, I feel like, I've said this before, maybe not on stream, but, like, I feel like the sort of expected cookie cutter nature of, like, Hallmark movies really emphasizes the true quality of the storytelling of the people involved in making them. Because, like, if you're a really good writer, you can work with the confines of, like, oh no, this person works too hard and they live in the big city and some circumstances made them go to the small town where they unexpectedly fall in love and learn the meaning of Christmas. Like, a really high percentage of those movies to this day are like that. They've branched out a little bit more year after year, but, like, it's still, like, the core of their business. But, like, if you know what you're doing, you can tell an interesting story, like Round and Round, which is what we talked about here, and my sister mentioned it on her channel as well, because we do indeed watch those movies together as a family. But, like, Round and Round was the rare Hanukkah installment that was like a Groundhog's Day time loop story and, like, had really distinct characters and, like, a magical dreidel that helps you find your true love. It's like, yeah, like, these are some new ideas and we put them together with some, like, really good writing and characters. It's great. But yeah, I really appreciate King George because he's all the things. He's a little crab gentleman. He's got a crown. He's tiny widow mittens. Just widow mitten hands. And he's great. And I've had him prominently sitting on top of the couch this whole week and just go and give him a little love when I need it, because it's been a bad time and I don't like this week at all, but I do like King George. It does blend in a little with the orange shirt inexplicably. even though it's very orange. Anyway, like I said, we got some good guesses there. We'll probably throw a little bit of some hangout time or something at the end of the stream live, but this will do it for the YouTube recording. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. We'll be back next Friday, and we should be starting Sam and Max Save the World, I think is the collective name of the first 5 episodes, sort of after the fact. Tomorrow, if you're free and interested, I've started playing another retro game. A little bit different in nature. We've been doing the remaster of Super Mario RPG, which dropped the subtitle Legend of the Seven Stars. So now it's just Super Mario RPG, and we're just about to meet our third character, one of the, perhaps the single most popular character from the game. Much beloved. Looking forward to that, and continuing to embarrass myself by not actually being very good at the action commands, which are a big chunk of the actual gameplay and any of the skill involved in it. But we're currently chugging through some retro games that I know are good in order to compensate for the fact that we've just spent many weeks playing Raincoat, which turned out to be miserable, but much like King George, we couldn't just go and leave that story unfinished. So yeah, we've got some good stuff to look forward to, and I'm excited to showcase it for you all. So I look forward to doing that in the future, and whenever I see you next, remember to take care of yourselves and that you are colossal. Boop.